This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska.
And welcome to the Pregame Show on News Channel Nebraska, brought to you by Pinnacle Bank of Beatrice. They're proud to be a part of your community and committed to bringing you banking. That's Pinnacle Bank in Beatrice, member FDIC. Live from the frozen tundra of the Knox County Fairgrounds, alongside Lou Siefker, I'm Eric McKay, and weather will be a factor today. As two teams separated by over 200 miles, still with a large familiarity with one another, do battle once again in the Class D2 quarterfinals. It's the Bloomfield Bees and the Irish of Falls City Sacred Heart, two teams that are very similar, Lou, both 10-0, both used to blow out victories, but at the macro level, the similarities end. Falls City Sacred Heart trying to make it to their 6th semifinal in the last 8 years. Meanwhile, there's nobody on Bloomfield's roster that was alive the last time they made it to the semifinal round. The Bees trying to break through today. This might be their best chance in a long time.
Well, they got an excellent team, and you're just talking to these guys, it feels like this is a game that's really important to Bloomfield. They feel like they have a chance to win, get to the semis for the first time since 2001. Falls City Sacred Heart, they're used to winning. They're a team that knows how to win. I think today's game will be won. Two offensive teams, very good offensive teams. I think today's game is won on defense. A play will be made on defense, or maybe a mistake made on defense. Somewhere along the line, defense is going to win this one.
I mentioned the weather will be a factor. Not necessarily the cold, but the wind. 25-mile-an-hour winds blowing from the south. It's going to affect special teams and the passing game of both teams today. This is the third time these two teams have met on this field in the quarterfinals in the last 4 years. We were here 2 years ago for an absolute classic matchup between these two teams. Let's take a look back 2 years ago at how the quarterfinals went in 2017.
Getting set for action here at the Knox County Fairgrounds. Quarterfinal matchup in Class D2 between the Bees of Bloomfield and the Irish of Falls City Sacred Heart. An impressive opening drive. Can they finish it off with points? Moles to the right, to the corner, to the pylon. Touchdown Bloomfield. Quentin Moles with touchdown number 46 on the year, and Bloomfield's on the board first. Drew Pippis, one of the best quarterbacks in 8-man football. They'll stay on the ground here up the middle. Didn't get much. Did they get out? Ball might be loose. Ball might be loose. It's Bloomfield ball.
Oh, wow. Big opportunity for Bloomfield.
Just their 8th on the year. It's Eisenhower straight ahead for the touchdown, and Bloomfield's up 2 scores. Riker Hoy split to the right. Arnold the deep back. It's Pippis into the end zone. Touchdown Falls City. Irish are on the board. It wasn't easy, but Falls City Sacred Heart now within a score. And now Bloomfield's defense has got to keep Falls City Sacred Heart out of the end zone with 4:50 to go. It's ball game. 4th and goal from the 6. Pippis to the end zone. Got it! Touchdown Falls City Sacred Heart with 19 seconds to go, and it's Jake Hoy. Eisenhower, incomplete, that'll do it. Falls City Sacred Heart comes from behind. On the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard, your final 15-14. Sacred Heart gets the win.
I'm pleased to be joined today on Health Beat by Dr. Michael Woodbury, orthopedic surgeon with Faith Regional Physician Services Orthopedics in Norfolk, and we're talking about joint replacement. So Dr. Woodbury, what are some things that someone can do now to possibly avoid having a joint replacement in the future?
Well, generally speaking, the number one thing is just stay active. The American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons always recommends anybody who has arthritis to stay active with exercise, low impact exercise. So no long distance running, but certainly walking is very healthy for the joints. Some resistance exercises is good for the joints. Also, tennis, people who golf, all these are encouraged. That's one thing people can do to maintain their joint, because as they maintain that muscle tone, they make the joint very stable, makes it very strong, and you're not susceptible to more laxity in the knee or the hip, which can lead to more arthritis. There are genetic factors that patients should be checked for. One is if you have a family member with rheumatoid arthritis or some sort of an inflammatory arthritis. If you get on early medications with your primary doctor or a rheumatologist, those can help preserve your joints for many, many years. It really has changed the way arthritis has developed with rheumatoid and all that types of diseases over a long period of time. Eating a good healthy diet and weight loss is always a good thing to try if you're having joint pain and you want to prevent a surgery. With weight loss, every time you lose 5 pounds, you decrease the contact stresses on the joint, which allows it to feel better and not as painful. The other thing is if you want to avoid surgery but you're having knee pain, injections can help with cortisone, or there's viscosupplementation, people call it like rooster comb injections, to help with lubricating the joint and helping it to prevent more pain and inflammation at a later point.
I see. Interesting. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate knowing that. To learn more about clinic locations, specialties, and providers, visit frpsclinics.org.
All right, I'm joined now by head football coach from Falls City Sacred Heart, Doug Goltz. And Coach, another year and Falls City Sacred Heart is in the playoffs. You guys have been here 33 straight years, 8 state championships. What's the secret to this long-term success from the Irish?
More than anything, the kids work hard. We've got that tradition. When you make it deep into the playoffs, you're getting kids a lot of extra playing time. So we're playing, 10, 11, 12 games each year. That really helps. And just the tradition more than anything.
Well, we talk about consistency. Your offense this season has been extremely consistent, averaging 56 points a game, and you've scored no less than 50 and no more than 67. So you've been very consistent. What have you guys been doing that's allowed you to be so consistent week in and week out?
Well, we like to spread the ball around. We don't rely on one single player. We've got a couple good running backs. We've got a quarterback that can throw it and run it. And we've got a pretty good group of ends that can catch the ball. So we just want to be able to stay balanced and try to spread the ball around.
Well, you talk about spreading the ball around. That includes some passing. Now, as we stand here doing this interview, we're facing a very stiff wind. How does that affect your play calling and your approach here in this ball game?
Well, definitely there's going to be a couple quarters where when you're into the wind, you're not going to be able to do much with the passing game, and that's why the line will be so important. We've got to be the better team on the offense and defensive line today.
I mean, the quarterfinals again, and a familiar foe here. You traveled to Bloomfield for the third time in 4 seasons. You guys won the last 2. What's it going to take for Falls City Sacred Heart to get 3 out of 3 here today?
Well, I know they're going to be ready. They've got really good coaches. The last time we played them, they had a great defensive plan that really frustrated us. But again, if we can just do the things that we normally do and are able to do the job on the line of scrimmage, I think we have a pretty good chance.
As always, we appreciate your time, Coach. Best of luck here this afternoon.
Thank you.
That's head coach Doug Goltz. Don't go anywhere. More Pregame Show is coming up next. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska.
Bloomfield customers invite you to shop Bloomfield and make a difference.
I want to make a difference because independent businesses help give our town its distinct personality. They care and they're really involved in our community.
Hey, how are you today?
Good, Christy. How are you?
Good.
Support your community and the businesses that are always giving back. What stays local, grows local.
The more interesting and unique your community is, the more we will attract new neighbors, visitors, and guests. This benefits everyone.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Our locally owned businesses employ our friends and neighbors who are passionate about what they do. Shop hometown.
Our local dollars generate more tax revenue to our community, which helps keep our school open and keep our taxes lower.
Bloomfield strong. This message made possible by the City of Bloomfield.
All right, welcome back to the pregame show. I'm joined now by Bloomfield head coach Matt Kuhar. And boy, coach, here we go again. Another game against Falls City Sacred Heart in the playoffs. How excited are your team to get another chance at these guys after you got a lot of guys back from 2 years ago when they knocked you off 15-14?
Yeah, they're excited to play. They were ready. Pretty disappointed the last time we played, but I think we made some amends and some changes, and we're ready to play today.
Well, we talked before last game about Braden Eisenhower and his ability to run the football, but we also mentioned he's a capable passer. Has pretty good career statistics throwing the football. You're playing a defense tonight that only gives up about 11 points a game. Do you feel like you need to be a little more multidimensional than you've been all year against Falls City Sacred Heart?
Yeah, we're going to have to go and throw the ball a little bit here tonight. You know, we're not going to get away from our power run game, but you know, we're going to sprinkle a couple passes in there. Hopefully, we can make some connections and make things well for us.
Well, you've got, again, a very difficult assignment against a team that scores 56 points a game. Very good offensively, very consistent offensively, and a team that mixes the run and the pass pretty well. What's the key tonight to try to slow these guys down?
It's us. We've got to go and make sure we're physical up front and covering on defense. And like I said, multiple facets for them. We're going to have to go and we're going to have to be good tonight.
Well, you're knocking on the door of your first semifinal trip since 2001 for Bloomfield. What's your message to your team before today's ball game?
No message has changed. We've got to go and do our thing, be physical, and lay the cards as they may.
Well, Coach, again, we appreciate your time. Best of luck here this afternoon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that's head coach Matt Kuhar. Folks, don't go anywhere. Class D2 playoffs continue. Falls City Bloomfield right after this on NCN.
My children have been involved in the local sports, and I find it's a great value for my advertising dollar. I just think it's an awesome opportunity. I mean, the kids love being on TV. I love when you go to games and there's people there, and I just find that it's a great value that NCN can bring this all home to us, that I can be a part of it as an advertiser, and that it's great that our community bands together for these sports. I love being able to be showcased on TV that I'm supporting the local teams, and it's awesome that NCN can show the whole state what our local teams are doing, and I feel that's just an excellent benefit. I love that my advertising dollars reach even farther than Norfolk, Battle Creek, that my advertising can reach almost the whole state. You can't do that with a billboard or the local newspaper. You can't reach that far, so that's really exciting.
The plot thickens here in Bloomfield. Welcome back to the Pinnacle Bank pregame show alongside Lou Siefker. I'm Eric McKay. We'll bring up starting lineups in just a second, but the player you see hiding behind the goalpost there is Logan Johnson, 210-pound senior running back for Bloomfield. He has not played since their fourth game of the season. Prior to his injury, he was averaging 200 yards per game on the ground, Lou. Not sure how much we'll see, if any, of him today, but if he can play, that would be enormous for Bloomfield.
That would be huge. 105 carries, 723 yards in less than 4 games. He's an outstanding player, and I guarantee you a competitor like that wants to get in this football game.
Taking a look at our starting lineups now, we mentioned Braden Eisenhower, 220 yards rushing last week. That put him number 1 in Class D2 in rushing yards this season. Also had 15 tackles defensively last week. Keep an eye on guys like Ian Kuhar and Dade Davis. Lou, you mentioned the passing game. Dade Davis and Eisenhower, they were both playing the last time these two teams played 2 years ago. Defensively, you're going to hear the name Del Castile and Branson Darvo a lot. Both of them great linebackers. Sloan Leonard, meanwhile, Coach Doug Goltz told us he might be the best lineman offense and defense in the state of Nebraska in Class D2. On the offensive side, Drew Bippus has graduated. Jacob Jordan, the sophomore, takes over for Falls City Sacred Heart on offense at QB. Jake Hoy, he caught the game-winning touchdown. You saw the highlights a few moments ago. He's turned into one of the most versatile running backs in the state of Nebraska. Another name we'll be calling a lot. And defensively, the D-line's going to have to be big. Gabe Lauk was a little quiet in last week's game against Hartington Newcastle. That's a name that we'll probably that Bloomfield will probably want to hear more than they did last week if they're going to be successful today. Starting lineups brought to you by Michael Foods. Check out their career opportunities at michaelfoods.com. Our community title sponsor for tonight's game is the Bank of Hartington. Where other banks have their branches, they have their roots. Member FDIC. It's the state quarterfinals. Falls City Sacred Heart against Bloomfield. It's next. You've been watching the pregame show on NCN.
To SEC in Milford, got a degree in electromechanical technology, and for the type of engineering I want, I didn't really need the 4-year degree, so that's why I picked that, and it's worked out pretty good for me.
Kind of nice to start the work world a couple years earlier, and then instead of having to go 4 or 5 years and get out and start earning a paycheck.
Yeah, and getting student loans paid off a lot quicker that way, and a lot less debt, and it's a lot easier.
Engineering tech, so I make 3D models and 2D part drawings for the engineer when needed.
Need high-speed internet? Want the best in TV programming? There's no need to make countless calls to 1-800 numbers to get the services you want. Get both TV and internet with just one call to me, Wes, at Satellite Central. Everyone's needs are different, and we can help you find the best option for high-speed internet. And we've been providing TV programming from Dish and DirecTV for over 20 years. We have a local team of installers that you know and can trust. So make one call to us at Satellite Central.
No longer is going to the optometrist just about getting glasses or contacts. The modern eye exam now involves the diagnosis and treatment of ocular disease. The visual demands created by the use of smartphones and handheld devices has also changed the modern eye exam dramatically. At Othier Miller Pape Eye Care, they're committed to your health and eye care needs. With 6 optometrists, they have various levels of expertise to serve their patients and give them the best care possible. Why? Because your eyes deserve it.
Raise your hand if you have a phone.
I'm literally living on my phone all the time.
There's no denying social media has influenced the mental health of kids. The challenges as a teacher has changed a lot because of that.
It's difficult for kids right now. They go home and it's constant, it's still there, it's always there. It never goes away, they never turn it off. That's gonna wear on you, that's gonna wear on anybody. We had no idea these kids were being tortured like this.
It is time now to enjoy the game thanks to United Healthcare. Quarterfinal action here on News Channel Nebraska alongside Lou Siefker, Will Ryan, and the truck, and the entire NCN Sports crew, all of whom could use a hot chocolate right now. I'm Eric McKay. 28 degrees in Bloomfield right now. It doesn't feel like it. There's a 25-mile-an-hour wind blowing from the south. Our wind chill right now, 9 degrees at kickoff. We were here last Wednesday as they took on Hartington Newcastle. The wind chill was actually listed as colder that night, but Lou, this stronger wind, the cold feels sharper when you're down there on the field and it hits you like that.
Yeah, and that wind is somewhat unrelenting. It's just not giving up at all. It just continues to blow hard. You kind of hope, for both of these teams' sake, that wind dies down a little bit before the end of this game and is not a huge factor in how this game plays itself out.
It could certainly be a factor for both of these teams, especially Falls City Sacred Heart. There aren't a whole lot of teams in Class D2 that can say that they want to go fit. There you see Jeff Fox's forecast there, mostly sunny, high near 32. which is true. That is technically true. At no point will it feel like 32 degrees here in Bloomfield today. But, when you look at what the wind could do to this game, especially Falls City Sacred Heart, a team that likes to go 50-50 on offense, which you don't see a lot in Class D2, that can be an equalizer. Bloomfield only threw the ball, I think, 3 times last week against Hartington Newcastle. They're probably going to have to do that more today if they're going to hang for 4 full quarters against Sacred Heart.
Well, I think for Sacred Heart, certainly you have to consider which Coach Doug Goltz mentioned that in the pregame interview, is there's going to be a couple of quarters where you're not going to be able to run exactly what you want to run offensively. So when you have your wind at your back and your Falls City Sacred Heart, I think you have to take advantage of that, and I think Bloomfield will have some of that as well. We talked about how good both offenses are. I mentioned in the pregame, I think the defense's a play will win this ball game. I think it's going to also come down to who can throw the ball most efficiently. Falls City Sacred Heart probably throws the ball more than Bloomfield, but who's going to be able to do it efficiently, and who's going to do it without turning the football over? Turnovers today could be absolutely huge.
Our first quarter today is presented by Region 4 Behavioral Health Systems. We thank them for that. Boy, it's interesting. I talked with Coach Matt Kuhar yesterday. I asked him any changes to the starting lineup. He said, I don't think so, which was an interesting thing to say. And then just a few moments ago, as they intro the starters, Logan Johnson was among them. So we will, it appears, see Logan Johnson in the running game for Bloomfield, and maybe just see what teams like St. Mary's and Stewart saw at the beginning of the year, which is just how scary this offense can be at full strength.
Well, he's a good football player, obviously. You'd almost like to have a game under your belt before you come in here and play these sort of conditions against this sort of team.
Johnson was on the field 2 years ago, mostly on defense against Falls City Sacred Heart when they won that game 15-14. All right, it is the Bloomfield offense taking the field. They will have it from their own 15, 1st and 10. As you can see, snow is on the field here at the Knox County Fairgrounds. We were talking to some folks before the game. That is the first time they've ever had to mow snow. You can see the different line markers, and that's about it. Anything in between those will be guesswork. 1st and 10 from the 15. No Johnson. It's Eisenhower and Cody Brugman, the sophomore, in the backfield. They hand to Brugman, and he gets very little. Maybe a loss on the play, and there, for the first of what will be many mentions today, Lou, is Branson Darvo, the senior. He played a lot defensively for them 2 years ago. Makes a nice play there. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Darvo's a great player, and your big players, your big guys that make big plays all season long have to really step up and play well in this game. And anytime you 2-10-0 teams meet like this, your stars have to shine brightly. Darvo does on that play.
2nd down and 12. Eisenhower out of the gun. Ball's at the 13-yard line. Eisenhower this time will keep, has a hole, out to about the 20-yard line, a manageable 3rd down upcoming. Tackle made by Max Freschel, the senior, but a 7-yard gain as we take a look at the Althea Miller Pape See It Better replay.
Well, Eisenhower is a bit of a running back playing quarterback, and he's a guy that they're going to rely on a lot. And for Bloomfield, again, a team that likes to run the football, we talk about staying on schedule. Really important for a running team to not be off schedule, and that means having 3rd down and makeable situations.
Tyson Sauser in the backfield. Ball rolls to Eisenhower on 3rd and 5, and Falls City Sacred Heart all over it. You've got to be crisp in every facet of your game against this defense. That play blown up. Brogan Nactigal making the play in the backfield.
Yeah, that just take that play out of rhythm completely, and Eisenhower just running for his life, doesn't even come close. And now not only does Bloomfield go 3 and out, now they got to kick against this gale force wind.
That they will. Eisenhower will punt. It's Jake Hoy standing at midfield. We'll see if the ball gets there. From the 15. Low punt held up by the wind. It's Hoy muffing it at the 34. He'll get back on it. Only a 19-yard punt. Falls City Sacred Heart thankful to keep possession. They'll have it 1st and 10 in Bloomfield territory, but you see the ball kind of shifted on Hoy as he tried to bring it in.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to field punts all day long, I think. with this win. But now this is one of those quarters for Falls City Sacred Heart where you've got the wind at your back. You feel like you can do more of what you want to do offensively. We'll see how the Irish are able to take that advantage, use that advantage, get some points here while the wind's at your back.
First and 10. Bloomfield stuffing it. The handoff to Del Castile goes for only a yard. Folks, our game today presented in part proudly by Julie D. Bauman, CPA, and her staff in Falls City. Second down and 9 after the 1-yard gain by Castile.
Both these teams have real good lines, and it's going to be difficult to run the ball with any consistency against either team.
I formation behind Jacob Jordan, taking over for the All-Stater Drew Bippis. Tripped up is Hoy. Didn't quite get to the 40-yard line. A gain of a couple. It'll be third down, maybe 6 coming up for the Irish. And it's Eisenhower making the stop. Lou, he had 15 tackles last week. He was all over defensively against Hartington Newcastle.
Well, as good as he was offensively against the Wildcats, might have been better defensively. He was, as you mentioned, all over the field, making play after play. And he's got that one thing going for him, that he's just got such great closing speed. He gets to the football so fast.
Third down and 8 from the 32-yard line of Bloomfield. It's an option play up the middle. Bloomfield stuffs it. Fourth down coming, and there's Gabe Lauk, the 220-pound junior, a guy who needs a big game today for Bloomfield. A nice play there on the run by Castile. It'll be fourth and about 5.
And we talked about that with Darveau for Falls City Sacred Heart. Big players need to make big plays. Gabe Lauk is probably that guy for Bloomfield. Has to have a big game. Well, the Irish going to go for it here on fourth down.
Fourth and 5 from the 29-yard line. Jordan with an I formation behind him. They'll hand off, stretch play. Hoy didn't get there. Bloomfield ready for it. Dalton Gieselman, the sophomore, leads the charge. Gain of about 2. That's all, in the Bees defense makes the stand.
That's a big statement defensively here for Bloomfield. As I mentioned earlier, I think defense will play a big part in this ball game. Not only who can get turnovers, but who can make stops. And that time, that's a big stop for Bloomfield, simply because Falls City Sacred Heart had such good field position to start that drive.
Now Eisenhower out of the gun. First and 10 Bloomfield from their own 26-yard line. Kind of a feeling out process going on right now. Eisenhower hesitates, dives into the contact close to the 30-yard line. They'll give him a couple. It'll be second down and about 8.
We got two teams that average over 50 points a game. Bloomfield at 50, Falls City Sacred Heart at 56. I'm going to go out on a limb and say neither team gets to 50 here today.
No, they're certainly not on that pace early. Tyson Sauser back into the game. Sauser had a nice game last week against Hartington Newcastle in the second round. Second down, call it 8. Ball at the 28-yard line, I think. It is hard to tell with this snow. Eisenhower out of the gun. The read option pulls it out late, finds some room up the middle, wrestled down from behind by Castile, but a manageable third down coming up after the 6-yard gain. Folks, tonight's game brought to you in part by Michael Foods. Check out their career opportunities at michaelfoods.com.
A third and short coming up here for Bloomfield. This is where the Bees want to be. This is staying on schedule. Good read option play there by Eisenhower. Keeps it, tucks it up the middle, and now we've got third and short.
Waited for Jackson Figner to make his decision defensively and then made his. Third down, call it a yard. Ball at the 35-yard line. Eisenhower to the right. First down. First down of the game. Eisenhower still running. Braden Eisenhower, the senior. He was a sophomore starting quarterback the last time these two teams played. He has Bloomfield in Irish territory after the 15-yard gain.
One of the things he's done all year is just be a great running back, but he's a guy that can hurt you through the air, too. He's got really good stats overall. He's got 31 passing touchdowns, about 2,200 yards for a career throwing the football. But, boy, this season he has been very dangerous as a running quarterback.
Now over 1,600 yards on the year rushing. That tops in Class D2. First and 10 from the Sacred Heart 30. The handoff, maybe a yard. A great play there by Branson Darvo on the carry by Cody Brugman. Folks, today's game presented in part by Frontier Bank in Falls City and Stella. Already halfway through the first quarter, no score, and this game showing some eerie similarities to the 15-14 game. Now, in that game, Bloomfield scored on their opening drive, recovered a fumble on the next play, scored again. They scored all 14 of their points in that game in a span of about 9 seconds in the first quarter.
The Irish hung around in that ball game. Bloomfield had chances maybe to put them away. Falls City Sacred Heart hung around, and a guy named Drew Bippus took them down the field there for that winning touchdown drive.
On 2nd and 9, Eisenhower has a hole, able to drag tacklers across the 25 to the 24-yard line. That's a solid pickup of about 5. 3rd and 4 upcoming.
Yeah, really good pickup there for Bloomfield. Good job by Falls City Sacred Heart, running to that football, getting to Eisenhower quickly before he can do more damage. But again, not only is this 3rd and medium, Bloomfield's what they like to have, in the 5 or less, but it also in this neck of the woods here, you got to feel that it's going to be a 4-down situation.
3rd down, call it 4, just across the 25-yard line. Brugman to the right of Eisenhower. Sauser's in there as a wingback. Sauser blocking for Eisenhower, makes his cut, tripped up shy of 1st down yardage. Nice play by Hoy defensively. It'll be 4th and about a yard after the gain of 3.
Exactly where Bloomfield wants to be. You're holding the football now. You're putting together a drive in these 1-yard situations right in the Bees' wheelhouse.
Logan Johnson checking in on this 4th down play. The first time he's played since September.
Interesting.
Johnson is in essentially as a tight end, a wing back to the right. Eisenhower out of the gun on 4th and 1. He'll go straight ahead, looking for room, not finding it, and it's Sacred Heart's turn to get a big 4th down stop. Through the line, Jake Hoy, Branson Darvo, a loss of a yard, and the Irish take over.
Well, Bloomfield has been picking up 4th and short against everybody this year, but I guess Falls City Sacred Heart, not everybody. Very difficult to get those short yardage situations against this defense. Great job there by the Irish. Now their chance for their defense to shine and get a big stand and get the football back.
Goes down as a loss of 2. 1st and 10, Falls City Sacred Heart now from their own 23-yard line. Under center is Jordan. He'll keep it himself, trying to angle to the edge. Held on by Brugman, not much. Solid gain around the corner. It'll be 2nd down.
Even for Falls City Sacred Heart, you want to pick up those good gains on 1st down, really open up the offense on 2nd and 3rd.
Folks, today's game presented in part by Best Basement Technologies and Heggie Glass, now at their new location in Bloomfield, 102 West Basil Street. Call Bruce 402-373-3333 for information on their services. 2nd and 6 from the 27. To the air for the first time is Jordan. Wide open is Del Castile. Nothing but snow and grass in front of him. Touchdown, Falls City Sacred Heart. 53 yards, and the Irish get it done through the air.
A mistake there by Bloomfield. Allowed him to get way behind the defense. Castile, nobody picked him up. And that's an easy pitch and catch for 6 points. So Falls City Sacred Heart scores first here and draws first blood.
All 8 were in the box. Castile snuck behind him, and there was no one going to catch him after that. Now the Irish going for 2. Hoy in motion. That play blown up immediately. Jumping the snap count was Ian Kuhar, the freshman, and on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard, it's a 6-point game on NCN.
If you're looking for excellent physical therapy or a great place to work out, Husker Rehab in Beatrice is the place to start. At Husker Rehab, they enjoy a friendly, relaxed atmosphere, and they'll help you reach your goals.
At Husker Rehab, we take pain personally, and we're always looking for the best solutions to help you out and have proven results. Hi, this is Ryan Wade, a physical therapist at Husker Rehab in Beatrice. If you have a referral for physical therapy or are looking to get into better shape, we'd love to help you out.
That's Husker Rehab with 2 locations in Lincoln, 1 in Beatrice, and 1 in Fairbury. Call today for more information or learn more at huskerrehab.com.
Let's take a look at our Smile Cam, brought to you by Family First Dental, where your family comes first. And it shows. If you're smiling today outside, you're bundled up. It is cold. Although Falls City Sacred Heart's offense anything but, a 53-yard touchdown pass from Jacob Jordan to Del Castile, and it's 6-0 Falls City Sacred Heart with the lead.
If you're smiling today, it's because your face is frozen that way.
It's stuck. Sorry, there's nothing you can do. Wind chill in the single digits as Nactigal kicks it away into the end zone, and Bloomfield starting once again at their own 15-yard line. So Falls City Sacred Heart gets the defensive stop on 4th down, and then 2 plays later, down the field they go for the touchdown for Falls City Sacred Heart. Irish football brought to you in part by Community Medical Center in Falls City. And now Bloomfield trying to find the answer.
Yeah, the Bees need a response here. They need an answer for that big play from the Irish.
From the 15, Eisenhower has some room to the outside, makes his cut, and gets about 4. It'll be 2nd down upcoming. Nice job to set the edge there for Falls City Sacred Heart defensively by Jake Hoy.
I think for Falls City Sacred Heart, you're going to let Eisenhower have some yards. You just don't want to give up the big play. So you see, especially when on those read options, got a lot of guys flying to that football, a lot of guys trying to get to Eisenhower quickly. And I think maybe for the Irish, you try to make him get rid of the football, make somebody else hurt you.
2nd down and 7 from the 18. Salzer, a wing to the right. Eisenhower and Brugman in the backfield. It's Eisenhower trying to duck underneath the contact. He'll fight his way forward to the line of scrimmage. Might have even gotten a yard on that play. Branson Darvaux makes the stop. It'll be 3rd down.
I don't know how Eisenhower got anything out of that. That's just sheer strength. Look at that. Just great individual effort. Took a couple of Falls City Sacred Heart guys for a ride there.
So 3rd down, call it 6. They gave him a yard to the 19-yard line. But a big 3rd down here is Sacred Heart already on the board. Bloomfield trying to find the answer. Winner of this one will play either Humphrey St. Francis or Plainview next Monday. Those 2 playing later today. It's Eisenhower to the air for the first time. Screen is set up. It's Salzer. Turns, 1st down. Out to the 30-yard line. It took a little bit longer to develop, I think, than they wanted, Lou, but they got 11 yards out of it and a 1st down.
Thank you. If you're Bloomfield, you're worried this might be a disaster. Eisenhower backpedaling, waited for Salzer to get open there on that short screen, and they pick up the 1st down through the air. That's a good sign for Bloomfield, able to make a play there through the air and pick up a much-needed 1st down.
Now from the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Curling around the outside for a couple is Eisenhower once again. Eisenhower, the workhorse running back for this team, gets a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, he has been the guy at quarterback that runs the football. What a season he has had. As you mentioned, Eric, over 1,600 yards now, 26 touchdown, averages 8.6 yards a game coming into this ball game. So he has been a real force here for the Bees.
He has it to the 32-yard line, 2nd down and 8 coming up. Now in the backfield for the first time is Logan Johnson. He'll be blocking here for Eisenhower, who has a little bit of a seam, out across the 35, and it'll be 3rd down and about 2 after a solid 5-yard gain there.
Well, Bloomfield again on schedule now, 3rd down and 2. Had a 4th and 1 the last drive, not able to pick it up. But this is where Bloomfield, I think, if they're going to be successful today, where they want to be, you just got to be able to convert now on 3rd and or 4th down.
3rd down and 2 2 yards shy of midfield. Johnson still in the game as the wing. Brugman in the backfield with Eisenhower. Sacred Heart, 6 in the box. They're bringing it. Eisenhower staying patient, has the first down into Sacred Heart territory to the 35-yard line. That's a gain of 7 and a first down for the Bees. Eisenhower's 13th carry of the quarter.
Yeah, he is going to be a tired young man when this ball game's over. Good job picking his spot there and getting that first down, and really nice job there holding onto that football. It's cold.
Yep.
But whether it's 70 degrees or 7 below, you got to hold on to the football. Can't turn the football over against a team like Falls City Sacred Heart and expect to win the ball game.
Bloomfield's coming to the sideline. Are they done with the quarter already? It's ticking down inside of 10 minutes. Well, one way to keep Falls City Sacred Heart from scoring is to keep their offense off the field. And it looks like that's what the Bees are going to do here. Milk some clock.
Bloomfield will have the wind here, too.
And they'll get the wind at their back when we come back. On the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard after 1, Sacred Heart 6, Bloomfield nothing on NCN.
Claybaugh Pharmacy provides you with all the pharmacy options a person would need. As a full-service pharmacy, we give you all the traditional options, but also have the modern technology to maintain your profiles. Maybe you're busy. Head to claybaughpharmacy.com. Click on Online Refills to get your prescriptions filled from the convenience of your home. Claybaugh Pharmacy and Gift Shop, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Hi, I'm Cindy Bruns, manager and ag lender at the Bank of Hardington Bloomfield Loan Production Office. I'm also a Northeast Nebraska beef producer. At the Bank of Hardington, we strive to build relationships based on trust and service that last generations. We understand the challenges facing our producers and are eager to assist with all the financial needs of your farm. We understand the challenges because our ag lenders have true ag experience.
Second quarter presented by Husker Rehab, with locations in Fairbury, Beatrice, Nebraska City, and 3 locations in Lincoln. Alongside Lou Siefker, I'm Eric McKay. Bloomfield driving, trailing by 6. Eisenhower, the quarterback, carried the ball 13 times in the first quarter. And as we take a look at our Doane University replay, he gets about 6 on this first down play.
Yeah, good carry on first down. Nice block there on the edge by Cody Brugman.
Second down and 4. Falls City Sacred Heart scored with a 53-yard touchdown pass from Jacob Jordan to Del Castile. This is Bloomfield's attempt to answer it. Eisenhower drilled by Castile in the backfield. Shot the gap. Eisenhower gets no gain. It's third down.
Yeah, Del Castile knew what that play was, reacted perfectly, makes a good hard tackle. You know, got a guy like Eisenhower that's going to carry the ball a lot. You know, it's not a lot of guesswork where the ball's going to go. If you read the play right and you got a guy like Castile that can make plays, kind of ahead of the game if you're Falls City Sacred Heart.
Third down and 4 in Sacred Heart territory at the 29-yard line. Eisenhower looking for blockers, finds him, and gets the first down, spun forward across the 25 to the 23. Folks, today's game presented in part by Bottoms Up. Stop in at Bottoms Up in Bloomfield and congratulate new owner Diane Feringer. Bottoms Up, a great place to meet your friends. 6-yard gain by Eisenhower, fresh set of downs at the 23-yard line.
Well, 3 first downs on this drive for Bloomfield. They're starting to establish themselves up front, exactly what Coach Guhar wants to have happen, and that's 3 first downs. They've all come on third down, so 3 third down conversions on this drive alone.
From the 23-yard line, 1st and 10. Eisenhower. That time Sacred Heart ready for him. Sauser couldn't guard 3 different players at once. No gain. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, I think that might have been an option play. I think that was a good idea for Eisenhower not to try to pitch that football. Had Brugman out on the flank there. If we were able to do it maybe a little bit sooner, he might have been able to pick up some decent yards on that play.
So 2nd down and 10 from the 23. This is a game that might not take very long to complete. We plowed through that first quarter.
Yeah.
Johnson back in at the wing. Salzer, the tailback to the left of Eisenhower. It's Salzer, his first carry of the game. He's stacked up across the 20 to the 19-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and about 6 coming up.
Well, we've seen Eisenhower and how well he can run the football. I think really for Bloomfield to have long-term success in this ball game, got to have some other players that will step up and make plays. And certainly, with Eisenhower's ability to throw the football is one thing, but if it's simply Eisenhower right and left, I think eventually Falls City Sacred Heart's going to shut that off.
3rd and 7 from the 19. Eisenhower to the air for the second time, pressured, can't escape, brought down for the sack by Brogan Nachtigal. Our game today presented in part by Fast Global Solutions team in Falls City and Auburn. Nachtigal the sack, it'll be 4th and 9 after the loss of 2.
Yeah, no time that time for Eisenhower. Great pressure from Falls City Sacred Heart. Not going to allow that play to develop. So the string of 3 straight 3rd down conversions is snapped, and we'll see what Coach Kuhar elects to do here on 4th down.
You saw big number 45 Sloan Leonard breaking through. 249-pounder. Again, Coach Goltz talked about how he believes Leonard might be the best defensive lineman in the state of Nebraska in Class D2. All right, 4th and 9. Big play here from the 21, and we've got a stoppage, a timeout called by Bloomfield. We'll take one as well. The Faith Regional Aurora Cooperative scoreboard shows a 6-point game on NCN.
When choosing your primary care provider, look for a partner in your health at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine. We'll be there to listen to you, collaborate with you, and support you in both uncertain times and life's greatest moments. Together, we can build healthy lifestyles, healthy families, and healthy communities. Visit frpsclinics.org to meet our primary care providers and find the right care for you at Faith Regional Physician Services.
4th down and 9 for Bloomfield from the 21-yard line. A big play coming up here. Our game today presented in part thanks to Nebraska Community Foundation. No dream is too big for a greater Nebraska. Turn up your dream switch. Visit nebraskahometown.org. 4th down, 9 to go. Ball's at the 21-yard line. Bloomfield had dropped back to pass. A timeout was called just prior to the snap. So both teams, or rather Bloomfield with 2 timeouts, Sacred Heart still with 3. 4th and 9. Eisenhower. Oh, they tried an inside handoff. The ball came out, and I think Falls City Sacred Heart's got it. The Irish had blown that play up, Lou. They tried a little trick draw play to Brugman, and Sacred Heart wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah, I think they were going to try to come back the other way. The play starts right. The design of that play is for that handoff to come back toward the left, but Falls City Sacred Heart all over that. Now they recover the fumble. Doesn't matter because it was 4th down. So either way, Falls City Sacred Heart with a big stand get the football back with a chance to expand this lead.
So Falls City Sacred Heart, I believe it was Nachtigal who came up with the fumble. So a fumble recovery and a sack on the afternoon for that young man already. And Sacred Heart up 6-0 with the ball now, 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Option play, Castile corkscrews his way to the 30. Gain of about 3, it'll be 2nd down.
Now going into the wind here for Falls City Sacred Heart, if you're able to score, really for either team, if you're able to score going into the wind, that's a big bonus. Because you figure that at least half your playbook is probably out the window with that gale force wind in your face. Now, Falls City Sacred Heart has not had the football much here in this first half, but they do have the lead off that big play, that pass play to Castile.
Yeah, this will be just their 8th snap of the football this afternoon. 2nd and 7, balls at the 30. Hoy, one-on-one to the near side. Can't get the stiff arm, shoved out of bounds by Dade Davis. Now a flag comes in.
They're might call Davis there with just a little bit of a late swing, I guess, if you want to call it, a forearm shiver there at the end of that play.
Yeah, a little shove there at the end, right in front of the officials. Now the ref's talking it over. Davis pleading his case. It was about a 4-yard gain. Official still talking it over.
Yeah, it's difficult, I think, to see exactly where he was at. Was he out of bounds? Was he near the boundary when that happened? I think initial flag was for, yeah, they're going to wave it off that it was out of bounds.
You also have to take into effect, I think, the factor of just this being an intense quarterfinal game.
Right.
Not saying you let dirty plays go, but there's going to be a little extracurricular after the whistle when you're 2 games away from the state championship.
Yeah, you got 2 alpha dogs going at it here, 20-0 combined. There's going to be a pretty intense play, very physical play from both these teams.
3rd down and 3 from the 34-yard line. Bloomfield with all 8 of their players in the box. It was under this formation that Castile got behind him for a touchdown earlier. This time they'll hand off. Castile doesn't get there. Stacked up, still driving. Down shy of first down yardage. It'll be 4th down as Bloomfield's defensive line makes a nice play.
A good job there by the Bees, not allowing Falls City Sacred Heart to get much at all on that play. Now what you have to think about if you're Coach Goltz certainly is whether or not you're going to go for it, but if you do punt it away, you try to punt, you're punting into that wind. It makes it very difficult to really pick up much field position at all.
I think both of these teams, though, are going to like their chances on a 4th and 1. That's what Sacred Heart has here from their own 36-yard line. Jordan dropped the ball. Ball is out. It'll be Bloomfield football regardless of who picked up the fumble. And, Lou, that's going to happen in this game.
Yeah.
Falls City Sacred Heart falls on it, but that ball, and the officials are doing a nice job. They're not putting it on the ground until the last second, but it's still getting snow accumulated on it. It's slick, and you saw that on that snap there.
Slick, it's wet, it's cold, and that snap never developed well for Falls City Sacred Heart. So now you've got back-to-back possessions, one for Bloomfield, one for Falls City Sacred Heart that end on 4th down fumbles.
And now Bloomfield with great field position from the Sacred Heart 35. It's Eisenhower. Trying to break to the outside, but finds nothing. Lost a yard. It was Castile breaking through initially. And it'll be 2nd down and 11. Our game today brought to you in part by Pinnacle Bank of Beatrice. Proud to be a part of your community and committed to bringing you banking the way it should be. Pinnacle Bank of Beatrice, member FDIC.
Love Castile's effort on that play. Went down and got along the ankles of Eisenhower and just held on, and he's strong enough to be able to hold on and allowed some help to come and finish that play off.
Call it 2nd down and 10. A minimal loss on that play. Here's Eisenhower. This is his 20th carry of the ball game. Falls forward across the 35 to about the 31-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and about 5.5.
Question now, Bloomfield has held the football. They've had far more offensive plays than Falls City Sacred Heart, but not able to finish drives. Did a nice job the last time they had the football with 3 third down conversions, just not able to finish. Can they pick up a 1st down here?
On 3rd down and 5 from the 30. It's Eisenhower straight ahead. Good bounce to the outside. Great open field tackle by Jake Hoy. That one will be on the highlight reel this week in film session. Gain of 3, it's 4th and 2.
Well, I don't know. I know Jake Hoy is a good football player. I think he might be a pretty good wrestler. You get 2 points for that, don't you? Isn't that a takedown there?
I think he's out there busting mutton with a tackle like that.
That was fantastic.
4th and 2. You don't do that to Braden Eisenhower in the open field very often. Call it 4th and 3, actually. Bloomfield trying to take advantage of the defensive stop. Sacred Heart showing blitz. Now Eisenhower changing things up at the line. He's got to hurry, and now we've got a flinch before the snap, I think, on Bloomfield. No, a timeout called. Did Bloomfield get the timeout? They did. So on the Faith Regional Health Services Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, 4th down play coming up next on NCN.
Southeast Community College is your path to possible, with nearly 60 programs to choose from, including transfer on 3 different campuses. Find your perfect fit, whether it's horticulture and turfgrass management, motorcycle, ATV and personal watercraft, or surgical technology. We have a hands-on program that's right for you at a fraction of the cost of many other schools. Visit us today at Southeast Community College, your path to possible.
Jake Hoy making great plays. He's been doing that for a long time. He caught the game-winning touchdown when these two teams played 2 years ago in the quarterfinals. They're a big tackle that sets up now a 4th and 3. Bloomfield coming out of the timeout. They have just 1 left this half. Alongside Lou Seifkaram, Eric McKay. 4th down, about 2.5. Ball marked at the 27-yard line.
That last time, that play took a long time to get going, and then fortunately, if you're a Bloomfield fan, you're able to get a timeout. Otherwise, you get a penalty, and you really take yourself out of that makeable situation.
Eisenhower, straight ahead, driven backwards. I don't think he got it. We'll see where the forward progress is. Hoy made a great play again, a sure tackle. Let's see where they mark it. He needed the 25. Forward progress, they say he got it first down, but boy, he didn't get it by much.
Not by much. I think Jake White thought that was a stop. He was dancing to the sideline. Another great defensive play by Hoy, but just enough for Bloomfield to keep that drive alive.
So now 1st and 10 from the 25. Huge pickup there. They go fullback. That's Johnson, his first carry since the month of September, brought down by Castile at about the 22-yard line. Folks, this game brought to you in part by Bloom and Bling. Thanks to everyone that attended the Blooms and Bling Christmas Open House. Stop in if you weren't able to attend last Saturday and check out the new inventory in downtown Bloomfield. Nice ovation for Johnson as he gets the 3-yard carry. 2nd down and 7 now. This time Eisenhower pulls it out. He throws it to Sauser. I have no idea how he was able to get that ball out. It'll go for a loss and a 3rd down coming up for Bloomfield.
Well, that's a risky play by Eisenhower. Isn't he almost down when he threw that football? And another play by guess who? Jake Hoy. He has been the defensive player of this ball game for Falls City Sacred Heart, no question about it to this point.
3rd down and 9 from the 24-yard line. Bloomfield has dominated time of possession, but one big play by Falls City Sacred Heart has been the difference thus far. A 53-yard pass from Jacob Jordan to Del Castile. On 3rd and 9, high snap. Eisenhower still with time, picked off. Castile drew him in and to throw the interception. Castile picks it up, and Lou Eisenhower never saw him.
Never saw Castile. He was just waiting in the wings there. You're going to see here Eisenhower with a heck of a catch to keep that play going. He thought he had Davis, or rather Kuhar, across the middle, but did not see Castile. Gets up there, makes that interception. Big play there for Del Castile and Falls City Sacred Heart.
Second turnover now for Bloomfield, and Falls City Sacred Heart has it 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
Well, Irish defensively has played very well here, turning Bloomfield away time after time. Now can they put something together offensively and try to extend this lead?
Hoy split wide to the right as a receiver. They'll go with an option. Castile trying to break tackles, but he is swarmed upon by this B defense. It'll be 2nd down and 11 after the loss of a yard.
One thing we talked about was that defense. I thought defense would probably win this ball game somewhere along the line. Defenses, really, both of them have been playing very well. But now turnover, that's we've had a couple of fourth down fumbles that were kind of irrelevant because they would have been stops either way.
Right.
First real turnover in that sense for Bloomfield on that interception.
2nd down and 11. I formation behind Jordan. Hands to the deep back. Hoy trying to bounce to the outside. Has no cutback lane. Still a solid gain. Gang tackled Lauk, Gieselman, and Davis all in on the stop. It'll be 3rd down.
Both these defenses are very aggressive and really running to the football well. We'll see if at some point, you saw Bloomfield tried to get a misdirection going, but the Fall City Sacred Heart just too aggressive and was all over it. But at some point, do you run some sort of misdirection, something when that defense is flowing one way to catch them napping in the wrong direction? We'll see if either team's able to do that before this, probably before the ball game, since the first half's just about over.
3rd down and 7 from the 33. Jordan hands off. Castile bounces his way across the 35. It'll be 4th down. Castile sets him up with a 4th down and about 3 after that 4-yard gain. And, well, if you're Sacred Heart, what do you do here, Lou, on 4th down? Bloomfield going to burn their last time out. We'll take one as well. Faith Regional Aurora Cooperative scoreboard shows a 6-point game on NCN.
Named for the unbroken, fertile grounds from which we came, Prairie Valley Seeds has one goal: to help you grow. Cutting-edge, customized seed placement fuels the adaptability your farm needs. With these innovations, you can rest assured your seeds work as hard as you do. We'll push the boundaries in seed innovation so that you can push the boundaries in farming. Prairie Valley Seeds. Grow without limits.
Bloomfield out of timeouts, trailing 6. Fall City Sacred Heart 4th and 3 from their own 37. Now, Lou, an interesting decision for Coach Doug Goltz here. If you don't get the first down, you're giving Bloomfield the ball in Sacred Heart territory. Do you maybe think about punting it here and moving Bloomfield farther back from the end zone?
Well, I think if the wind wasn't so strong, I think you would punt the ball here. We'll see what Coach Goltz elects to do. I think they're going to go for it.
Yep. Got their offense out here. 2 receivers are split wide. It's Hoy to the left and Jackson Figner to the right. Jordan out of the gun on 4th and 3. It's an option. Jordan, late pitch, and it bounced to Castile. He won't be able to make anything happen, and Bloomfield gets a loss of 7, and a great play by the Bees sets them up with 1st and 10 at the 30. Daniel Brugman made the stop.
Yeah, Fall City Sacred Heart trying an option. Probably should have just held on to that football. Now, Fall City Sacred Heart would have lost possession either way, but worst case scenario there is Bloomfield picks that one up and runs it for a touchdown. That would have been a disaster. Bloomfield was calling timeouts, hoping to get the football back and in good field position, and they certainly do. Now we got a penalty. Is that right? Got a penalty on Bloomfield?
I didn't see a flag get thrown, but they're saying dead ball, offsides.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Apparently a Bloomfield player lined up in the neutral zone.
That's a major turn of events.
And so that gives a free first down to Fall City Sacred Heart. Take another look at the line of scrimmage. I didn't see any movement. So unless somebody was lined up offsides.
That must have been the call. Maybe Lauk there on the end. It was hard to tell.
Boy, that's a big penalty.
That's huge because Bloomfield not only had possession, they had really good field position.
There you see, if we reverse it back, Gabe Lauk, I think, just barely.
Yep.
But a flag wasn't thrown at the snap. That's the thing that is somewhat confusing about this.
Flag must have been thrown on the far side there. Very difficult to see from our vantage point, but now can Fall City Sacred Heart, 42 seconds to go. Can you do something with it here?
From the 38, Jordan in trouble, gets out of it, He'll get a gain, maybe a yard, that's it. But Bloomfield all over that play. Their defense doing the job. Gabe Lauk in on the stop, no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think for Bloomfield to be successful on this defensive side for the course of the game, you want to hear Gabe Lauk's name several times. He's a force out there, one of the best tacklers in Class D2. And now I think for Fall City Sacred Heart, you're just going to take your time here. Maybe you have one play that you want to try to get in here, but you don't want to turn it over and give Bloomfield a chance to take the lead before the half.
Deep back is Hoy, makes a nice cut, making Bees miss, stacked up across the 35 to the 34. It'll be 3rd down and 6, but that's the end of the first half. Well, we're seeing 2 state champion caliber defenses on the field right now. The only difference, a 53-yard pass play from Jacob Jordan to Del Castile. And as we head to the break on the Faith Regional Health Services Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, it's Fall City Sacred Heart 6, Bloomfield nothing. Halftime show coming up on NCN.
Since 1880, when our bank was originally chartered, until today, we've been a part of our community. We always go the extra mile to meet the needs of our customers. As Frontier Bank, we continue with the same tradition with the enhanced ability to meet the technical needs and wants of our customers. Whether it be agriculture, business, or consumer-based banking, we are here to help fulfill your financial needs. Call or stop by one of our locations in Fall City or Stella to let Frontier Bank become your banking partner. Member FDIC.
The morning doesn't always start when you want it to. It starts when it has to. And day or night, we're up when you are. Through the good times, through the tough times, for the necessary and the unexpected. Even when you don't need us at all, we're just a light switch away. And when it's finally time to call it a night, we keep the lights on, ready to do it all over again. Nebraska Public Power District, powering your everyday, every day.
Jefferson Community Health and Life provides high-quality health and wellness services to Jefferson County and beyond. Our commitment to you is to provide exceptional family care to inspire a lifetime of health. We now offer family medicine services at 2 convenient locations in Fairbury and Plymouth to keep your family healthy for life. We are proud to welcome Dr. Brett Wergen, a native Nebraskan, to our team of 7 family medicine providers who all focus on developing long-term positive relationships with patients. Jefferson Community Health and Life.
Claybaugh Pharmacy provides you with all the pharmacy options a person would need. As a full-service pharmacy, we give you all the traditional options, but also have the modern technology to maintain your profiles. Maybe you're busy. Head to claybaughpharmacy.com. Click on Online Refills to get your prescriptions filled from the convenience of your home. Claybaugh Pharmacy and Gift Shop, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Thanksgiving is a time to appreciate family and friends. A time to share our gratitude for a bountiful harvest, a prosperous year, and good health to those we hold dear. A day of great football, grandma's turkey, and pumpkin pie. We'd like to share our appreciation for you. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
When choosing your primary care provider, look for a partner in your health at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine. We'll be there to listen to you, collaborate with you, and support you in both uncertain times and life's greatest moments. Together, we can build healthy lifestyles, healthy families, and healthy communities. Visit frpsclinics.org to meet our primary care providers and find the right care for you at Faith Regional Physician Services.
1,300 high school touchdown balloons. 150,000 bags of popcorn filled. 525,000 napkins donated. At Midwest Bank, we feel it is the little things that we do for the communities that we serve that make the big difference. When it comes to banking, we can make a big difference for you too. Check us out online at midwestbank.com. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
The picture is really clear.
It's really close up, and it's kind of professional, like you're watching ESPN.
After a big game, lots of kids show up in my office, and they're always talking about, wow, did you see that hit by so-and-so, or did you see that shot?
They really appreciate being able to see it. Whether they've got family that's out of town, they're able to watch it from afar, or even if the weather's not great.
And they're always so positive about our kids. They're positive about the officials and about the fans.
Halftime here at the Knox County Fairgrounds, 6-0 Falls City Sacred Heart with the lead over Bloomfield. This game presented at the half by Midwest Bank, always ready to lend a hand in the communities that they serve. Log on to MidwestBank.com to find out more. Alongside Lou Siefker, Will Ryan in the truck, the entire NCN Sports crew with us. I'm Eric McKay. These teams in the first half combining unofficially for just 159 yards of offense. We're seeing state champion caliber defense, about a third of the offense I mentioned. In fact, exactly a third of the offense I mentioned came on one play that's been the difference in this game. A broken coverage by Bloomfield leading to a 53-yard touchdown pass from Jacob Jordan to Del Castile. Beyond that, Lou, two defenses that have really come to play today.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding against either defense. That touchdown that Castile had just got behind the Bloomfield defense, lost him in coverage, and that was a pretty easy pitch and catch for that touchdown. Since then, really no offense from Falls City Sacred Heart. After that, about around 30 yards of offense total. Bloomfield's been able to move it at times, just able to finish drives. They have not been able to make that big play. Falls City has it, and therefore they have that 6-0 lead.
Falls City Sacred Heart has run just 15 plays on offense in the first half. By comparison, Braden Eisenhower of Bloomfield has run it 22 times by himself. Bloomfield had the ball for a lot of the first half, Lou. You've got to believe some frustration on the part of Coach Matt Kuhar that they couldn't find their way into the end zone.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit frustrated. They had that one drive where they completed 3 third-down opportunities. Really looked like they were on their way to score. A couple of times Bloomfield's had the ball down and fairly deep in Falls City Sacred Heart territory, just come away empty. Give all the credit to the Irish defense. We'll see what adjustments either team makes offensively. I got to believe if you're Bloomfield, you may have to put the ball up a couple of times here, come a little bit out of your comfort zone to try to move the ball against Falls City Sacred Heart. And then Falls City Sacred Heart, I think when they have the win, you may want to open up that offense a little bit there to try to extend this lead if at all possible.
And a half, like I said, neither of these teams are clipping 100 yards in the first half for Bloomfield. All but 5 of their team's yards have come from the quarterback, Braden Eisenhower, as he carried the ball 22 times for 70 yards in the first half. They got 3 yards on the ground from Tyson Sauser and Cody Logan Johnson each, and then -1 yard on the ground from Cody Brugman on 3 carries. So that's net 75 yards on the ground. They netted just 10 yards through the air. 2 of 3 passing was Eisenhower. Both of his completions to Tyson Sauser. He did throw that interception to Del Castile toward the end of the first half, but just 85 yards of offense for Bloomfield. So I misspoke. I said 159 yards. I should have said 169 yards of offense. Bloomfield just 1 yard better than Falls City Sacred Heart in the first half. But again, most of that coming on the touchdown pass from Jacob Jordan, the sophomore, to Del Castile, the junior, the 53-yard touchdown play. That made it 6-0. That came with 3:43 to go in the first quarter. But what you're seeing here in our highlight package is what the game was. It was hard-hitting defense. Neither offense really able to get anything going until this play right here. A broken coverage. Eisenhower not able to get back. Del Castile takes it 53 yards to the house. That's been our only score of the first half. Sacred Heart led on the ground by Jake Hoy, 5 carries for 15 yards. Del Castile carried it 6 times for 12 yards. Jacob Jordan, 3 carries for 4 yards. Neither team's running game really getting them much. Eisenhower did have a 15-yard carry earlier in the game, but his yards per carry at about 3.3 right now. And that's really that's where Falls City Sacred Heart would like it. I go back to the game that these two teams played 2 years ago. Quentin Moles, one of the most prolific running backs in 8-man football history, he got 146 yards on the ground in that game, but it came on 42 carries.
Right.
So Falls City Sacred Heart, and you mentioned it early on, Lou, they don't have as varied a playbook as Bloomfield doesn't have as varied a playbook as Falls City Sacred Heart does. And what that does is that means that Falls City Sacred Heart can key on a lot of guys, knowing that likely those are going to be the ones that get the ball on offense.
Well, I think if I'm, planning the defense for Falls City Sacred Heart, the first thing I say is find 19. Wherever he's at, he's going to probably have the ball. Send a lot of guys after him, and I think they've done a good job with that. They've, I think if you're Falls City Sacred Heart, especially on those options, you try to get Eisenhower to get rid of the football and make somebody else hurt you. And if he's got it, send the troops after him, not let him get those big gains. They've done a good job of that here in the first half. They've really tackled well, I think, Falls City Sacred Heart, and they've not, even though Bloomfield's able to move it occasionally on the ground, they haven't been able to put together that drive to get points. And that comes down to just, I think, really good play from that front of Falls City Sacred Heart.
There's been just one penalty in the first half, and it was a big one. You saw that last play in our highlight reel. What appeared to be a fourth down stop by Falls City Sacred Heart. A lineman lined up in the neutral zone, according to the officials. So that gave Falls City Sacred Heart a first down. It would have been 1st and 10 Bloomfield from the Sacred Heart 30. Now, granted, no timeouts, but 39 seconds. They would have tried to get something going there to end the first half. But as it is, 6-0 the score. Sacred Heart with the lead over Bloomfield. Winner of this one will face either Humphrey St. Francis or Plainview in the semifinals. Here's the D2 bracket. Here's who's left. We've got Bloomfield and Falls City Sacred Heart here. The left side of your screen, Humphrey St. Francis took care of business against Lawrence Nelson. Plainview, an impressive win over Johnson Brock. Those two teams playing this evening. Up in Plainview, our pals up at the new 94 Rock will have the call on that one on the radio. Andrew Wolf will have the call in there. And then the West bracket in D2 has gotten wacky. The best seed left is the 5 seed, Central Valley out of Greeley. It's been upsets all over the place. They get the 8 seed Overton after they knocked off Garden County last week. And how about a 7-10 matchup? 7-11, I should say. Pleasanton against Twin Loop on the other side of the bracket. So really the west side of this bracket is anyone's game right now. Both of those games that you see on the screen are kicking off Central Time, 5 p.m. This is the only game going on in the state of Nebraska right now, or at least it will be for another couple minutes. There are a few games kicking off at 4 p.m., most of them at 5 or 6 this evening. And the way things are going, Lou, we might be out of here by 4:30.
Might be home for supper. I'm just glad there's not a running clock here. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, there is, because both teams run the ball. But, you look at those brackets, I was thinking about this. I think for Falls City Sacred Heart, Bloomfield wanted Falls City Sacred Heart because they've lost to them a couple of times and recently, and they wanted another shot at them. You think Falls City Sacred Heart, if they're fortunate enough to win this game, would like Humphrey St. Francis, a team that has beaten them a few times in the playoffs in recent days? That a lot of interesting matchups down the road. I was really impressed with Plainview when we did their ball game. That's a nice-looking football team. I'm not sure anybody is as good as Humphrey St. Francis right now.
We said it earlier in the year. Every year you say Humphrey St. Francis is good. Well, yeah, of course. It's like saying Falls City Sacred Heart is good. That is the case every single year. By their standards, they're good. It is what you expect from Humphrey St. Francis, the next level. They have been so good this year, as evidenced by the fact that, Lou, you mentioned it. We saw Plainview against Osmond and thought that's a state championship contender right there. They played St. Francis in Week 9 for the district title and got completely blown out of the water. St. Francis has been untouchable this year. I'm not saying it can't happen. People said the same things about UNLV and March Madness back in the day, and Duke was able to step up and get them. I don't know if that's going to happen tonight, but there's no easy money in postseason football, but the closest thing to it, I think, right now has been Humphrey St. Francis in Class D2 this year.
Yeah, that's why they play the games, but you're right. I would say they are the favorite right now to win the state championship. Two good football teams here. You never know.
You got a good one here. We got a great one on Friday as well. Man, this is going to be good. We've got Pierce and Adams Central, battle of the unbeatens down in Hastings, the most prolific passing attack in Class C1 history, taking on one of the best defenses in the state of Nebraska. I think Brett Tinker already has 3 tackles in that game. We'll have that for you, 5:45. And then how about this one in Class B? Scotts Bluff at Omaha run. Collie, Scotts Bluff making the long drive to the Metro to take on the Crimson Pride with the great Jack Dotzler at quarterback. Lou, you and I saw him play some state champion caliber basketball last year. That is going to be a phenomenal game as well. Both of those games coming up Friday right here on NCN. Meanwhile, the score here, 6-0. Falls City Sacred Heart leading Bloomfield. Your halftime show has been presented in part by the community title sponsor for this game, the Bank of Hartington. Where other banks have their branches, they have their roots. Member FDIC. They're getting back off the bus. It's a lot warmer in there than where they're headed right now. 6-0 Irish with the lead. Second half next on NCN.
The Bloomfield Medical Clinic and Bloomfield Pharmacy are here to serve you and your medical needs. We have been serving Knox County and the surrounding areas for 73 years. Call or stop by to schedule an appointment at our Bloomfield or Osmond Clinic. We are a proud supporter of high school athletics and academics and wish the Bees the best of luck.
The morning doesn't always start when you want it to. It starts when it has to. And day or night, we're up when you are. Through the good times, through the tough times, for the necessary and the unexpected. Even when you don't need us at all, we're just a light switch away. And when it's finally time to call it a night, we keep the lights on, ready to do it all over again. Nebraska Public Power District, powering your everyday, every day.
Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust believes as a locally owned community bank, it's important that we are a leader in supporting the local communities we serve. Financially supporting organizations that provide services to the needy and underprivileged, as well as organizations that strive to make our community a better place to live. Our employees carry on this commitment by serving on community boards, coaching youth sports, or simply volunteering to serve others. Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust, making a difference.
Driving by on the highway, you'd never guess what this store holds. When you walk in, rest assured this small-town vet supply store has big city selection. There's a good chance if what you're looking for isn't in the back, they can order it for you. Luckily, you'll get the small-town friendly service and knowledgeable sales staff every step of the way. From vaccine help to renting a tux for your son's wedding. See the staff at Valley Vet Supply on Highway 36 in Marysville.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kramer Oil has been serving our community for 3 generations. Since 1976, our work ethic has remained constant as well as our quality service. We are happy to provide fuel and oil services whenever and wherever you need us. Farming is hard enough. Let us worry about your oil and fuel. Join our family in Gage, Jefferson, and Pawnee counties in Nebraska and north central Kansas. Visit krameroil.com to see what we can do for you. Kramer Oil, our family serving your family since 1976.
At Norfolk Auto Center, they work hard to give their customers the best value around. Plus, they offer a 5-day money-back guarantee on every new vehicle and a 30-day exchange period on any pre-owned vehicle over $5,000, so you can buy with confidence. Call or stop in today. They're conveniently located at 1123 South 20th Street in Norfolk, or shop them online at norfolkchevy.com. Norfolk Auto Center, Northeast Nebraska's volume leader.
Getting set for the start of the third quarter here on News Channel Nebraska. That presented by Region 4 Behavioral Health System. Alongside Lou Siefker, I'm Eric McKay. Bloomfield will get the ball to start the second half. No, they will not. Falls City Sacred Heart will get the ball to start the second. The sun is in my eyes. I can't. Are there football players on the field right now? This is a kind of a north-south field, and the setting sun is directly across from the press box right now. And
is there any plan for retinal damage from?
Yeah. We might be calling off your Miller Pay Pike here consultants after this game. So kicking off for Bloomfield will be Logan Dorr. And it'll be Jake Hoy back deep for Falls City Sacred Heart. I can't tell. The wind doesn't seem as strong as it was earlier. But again, that's easy for me to say. I'm indoors.
It's kind of hard to tell. But this will be the Irish's chance, I think, with that wind at their back.
Oh, that rolls behind Hoy. He's got to go back and get it at the 6. Oh, makes a nice cut, though. Brought down from behind across the 15 to the 19-yard line. Nice play by Cole Miller. And Falls City Sacred Heart will have it 1st and 10. Now the wind's still pretty strong, blowing 24 miles an hour right now officially. Look at this play by Jake Hoy. This would be a disaster for a lot of players. Hoy not only kept his wits about him, but broke a couple of tackles, as you see the Madison County Bank scoreboard there.
Yeah, Hoy did a really nice job just to stay calm and pick that football up, get something positive out of that.
So 1st and 10, Sacred Heart from their own 19-yard line. Jordan brings Hoy in motion. First time we've seen that today. Jordan has a bit of a hole. Bounces to the outside where there's room. First down, Jordan down the far sideline. No one in front of him. Second big play of the game goes Sacred Heart's way. No flags. Irish touchdown. 61 yards.
Wow, what a play. Jordan showed some real speed there. Gets through that first initial defensive surge and just outruns Tyson Saucer to that corner, and no one is going to catch him. Great play.
As good a start as Falls City Sacred Heart could have possibly wanted. A play we had not seen yet today, run by Coach Goltz's team. Coach Doug Goltz, 33 years at the helm of this program, 317 wins, just 53 losses. And now Sacred Heart going for 2. Hoy in motion. Jordan to the end zone, caught. That's Tyler Witt, and the 2-point conversion good. And on the Faith Regional Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, 11:42 to go in the third, 14-point game on NCN.
When choosing your primary care provider, look for a partner in your health at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine. We'll be there to listen to you, collaborate with you, and support you in both uncertain times and life's greatest moments. Together, we can build healthy lifestyles, healthy families, and healthy communities. Visit frpsclinics.org to meet our primary care providers and find the right care for you at Faith Regional Physician Services.
High school playoff football on NCN presented in part by Frontier Bank in Falls City and Stella. 61-yard touchdown run by Jacob Jordan. Sacred Heart has 145 yards of offense. 124 of those have come on 2 plays. 2 big plays that are the difference in this one as the ball blows off the tee. Now Bloomfield, Lou, boy, in a game like this, 14 points sure seems like a lot to come back from.
Yeah, it's definitely more so than a normal game, I think, given number 1, your opponent, number 2, just the conditions that you're dealing with.
Nactigal's kick, again, aided by a 24-mile-an-hour wind through the end zone in Bloomfield, once again starting at their own 15-yard line. We've seen a little bit of Logan Johnson, again, certainly nowhere near the condition he was at the beginning of the year. His left ankle heavily taped. He's carried the ball once in this game for 3 yards. He was averaging over 200 yards per game prior to his injury earlier this year. That allowed Braden Eisenhower to step up and be the most prolific rusher in Class D2 coming into today. Johnson is out there as a wing. Eisenhower, the quarterback, tries to bounce to the outside. Doesn't find much. Stacked up by Jackson Figner, the junior. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And for Bloomfield, you need to find something. You need to find this answer. That 14-0 lead, as you mentioned, Eric, seems like a much bigger lead than normal. And for Bloomfield, you got to find something in your arsenal. Maybe something that is not maybe in your comfort zone. It's going to be difficult, I think, just to run the ball and score a couple of times here against Falls City Sacred Heart.
From the 15 on 2nd down, straight up the middle goes Johnson. He's wrapped up, brought down immediately by Figner and Castile. Gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and about 8 coming up for Bloomfield.
And not where Bloomfield wants to be, especially in this situation. Now you're kind of backed up. You're down 14. This is a big play here early in this 3rd quarter.
From the 17-yard line, 3rd down and 8 for Bloomfield. Eisenhower out of the gun with Sauser in the backfield. Eisenhower to the right, slowed up at the line, wrapped up prior to 1st down yardage. He's out across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. It'll be 4th and 4. Eisenhower 74 yards now, but on 24 carries.
Yeah, a lot of carries. Now you're in a bad spot if you're Bloomfield because you're punting against a very stiff wind if you choose to punt here, which I think you almost have to.
That's what they're going to do. This will be the first punt of the game. Correction, second punt of the game. My apologies. First one was muffed by Jake Hoy back in the 1st quarter. He's standing at his own 35. Eisenhower, that off the side of his foot. And it will be great field position for Falls City Sacred Heart at the 35-yard line. 14-yard punt, no return. Today's broadcast presented in part by Nebraska Loves Public Schools. To see what happens every day in our public schools, watch their films at ilovesps.org. Well, gut check time for that Bloomfield defense, Lou. This is a dire straits if Sacred Heart scores here.
Yeah, Falls City Sacred Heart can take a stranglehold on this football game if they put together a drive here. And for the Irish, they have not been able to put together drives. They've had the big plays. That's been the way they've scored both their touchdowns.
Jordan alone in the backfield. He has 3 receivers split wide. Hoy and Witt to the left. Now Hoy in motion. They fake the end around. Jordan in trouble. Able to get it away. Is that an eligible receiver? He threw it at Sloan Leonard. No flag yet. And now a flag, I believe, comes in, or does it? They're talking it over. The Sloan Leonard was the player in the area, but Lou, he was an ineligible receiver.
Yeah. You're probably looking at a grounding situation.
Well, and the ball didn't get to the line of scrimmage
Right.
either. So they do get the intentional grounding.
Yep.
That was a great play by Ian Kuhar to get into the backfield. So loss of down and a 15-yard penalty. That's a big one. It'll be 2nd and a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's a huge penalty and a great play by Kuhar. Great pressure that time to get to Jordan. And if you're Jordan, I think, he's had a great season, still a sophomore, still learning. You're probably better off just taking that sack instead of trying to create something and get the penalty in this situation or turn the football over.
So 2nd and 25 from their own 30. Hand off to Castile. He's stacked up, brought down by Eisenhower. Kuhar in on the stop as well. And it'll be 3rd and call it 22 after that gain of 3.
Well, Falls City Sacred Heart didn't have a whole lot of opportunities in the first half on 3rd down, but they were 0 for 3 on 3rd down, 1 for 3 on 4th down. Again, it's been the big play that's been their forte in this ball game.
You can see on our main camera when we switch back
Yeah.
that sun is just right at about eye level in the stands. There you see the lens flare there. This isn't a J.J. Abrams film, just the sun setting. 3rd and 22. Jordan trying to set up a screen, nobody home. They tried to get it to Hoy, well covered by Lauk, and Bloomfield's defense comes up with a huge stop when they needed one.
Yeah, good job by the Bloomfield defense. You go back to Kuhar's pressure that led to a penalty, and then a nice job not to let the screenplay get set up. Read it well. Now Bloomfield get the football back. Still down 2 scores.
The Falls City Sacred Heart punting for the first time today. Nobody back deep for Bloomfield. This will be a wind-aided punt. That goes a mile. In fact, that'll get all the way. Oh, my goodness. Out of bounds inside the 5.
Wow.
At the 1-yard line.
My goodness.
That's a 46-yard punt. No return. That could not have been placed any better.
Yeah, what a fantastic kick that time.
That's freshman Evan Keithley.
I wonder if he's a good golfer.
Put the touch on that one. My goodness.
Some pin placement on that one, huh?
So Bloomfield, 79 yards of football field in front of him, and a 1st and 10. Absolutely cannot go backwards here. Eisenhower. The handoff stacked up at the line. Flag comes in at the end of the play. Line of scrimmage is all. It'll be 2nd and 10. We'll sort out the flag. It came from the back judge. Johnson got the carry. And this penalty, I believe, against Sacred Heart, they're moving backwards.
Tough to tell from the replay what happened.
They get a face mask, a 5-yard incidental face mask against Falls City. So they'll replay the down.
The break for Bloomfield, you go from the 1-yard line. Now you got a little bit of room to run your offense.
And a 1st and 5 from the 6. Sauser back into the game. Logan Johnson in as well. Bloomfield has run almost twice as many plays as Falls City Sacred Heart, but they have not been able to finish drives today. 2 turnovers, and this time just not much on the ground. I think that's Eisenhower on the keeper. It'll be 2nd down as they give him about 2. It'll be 2nd and 3. Today's game presented in part for Falls City Sacred Heart, thanks in part by Community Medical Center in Falls City. Call it 2nd and 3, ball marked at the 8-yard line. They need the 11. Bloomfield, they might, if they can get down to the end zone, that might just end the 3rd quarter. I formation behind Eisenhower. On 2nd down, they give Johnson the deep back. He bounces his way out across the 10. It'll be close. They'll mark him shy of 1st down yardage by about a yard, as Johnson brought down on the play by Sloan Leonard. So 3rd down, call it 2.
Well, one thing that punt did was obviously it backed Bloomfield up. Bloomfield has not shown the propensity for the big play like Falls City Sacred Heart has. So even if Bloomfield able to put together a drive, you're taking a lot of time off the clock, as you just mentioned.
So 3rd down and 2. I formation again behind Eisenhower. No shotgun on this drive. Eisenhower going straight ahead, just powering forward. Looks like he has enough through the tackle of Leonard. And that will be a 1st down for Bloomfield after the gain of 3 by Braden Eisenhower. It's been tough yardage, but Eisenhower getting just enough there to move the sticks for Bloomfield.
One thing that Braden told us last week in the post-game interview was the lifting the weights. The guys get in the weight room. It's for games like this and plays like that. Just the short yardage, just that extra oomph, that extra pull, and a couple squats here, maybe to get those legs a little bit stronger. That pays dividends at times like this.
I feel like Bloomfield needs a big play, though. They got the 1st down, but they're still a long ways from the end zone at their own 12-yard line. Shifting in motion is Sauser. Eisenhower tries to cut back, finds a little bit of daylight, and is able to muscle his way out across the 15. Good little freelance run by Eisenhower there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, I think certainly Bloomfield will take a long drive as long as you put the ball in the end zone, but I think a big play would be in order there, because it's kind of like we talked about before, driving home to Norfolk from North Platte. You drive 2 hours, you still have another 2 hours to go. If Bloomfield's able to take this down for a touchdown, you're still down a score. So you'd love to have a big play just to get this offense opened up just a little bit.
2nd and 7. They got to the 15-yard line. Eisenhower out of the gun. Brugman to his right. Eisenhower, not much. Falls City Sacred Heart just stacking the box. The ball came out. Officials say he was down, and it'll be 3rd down and about 6. Folks, this game presented in part thanks to Best Basement Technologies and Heggie Glass, now with their new location in Bloomfield, 102 West Basil Street. Call Bruce, 402-373-3333. for information on their services. Call it 3rd down and 5. You'll see the ball come out here at the very end of the play. He had already been brought to the turf.
I think the Irish are okay with this Bloomfield offense. You know, this 3 yard in a cloud of dust. You're up 2 scores. You're okay with that clock ticking away.
3rd down and 5 from the 17. Eisenhower out of the gun. Fakes, tries to get the edge. Too much speed from behind. He doesn't get there. Wrapped up, brought down from the back, Jake Hoy. Sloan Leonard in on the play. And it'll be 4th down and 3.
Well, kind of like a broken record here. 4th down, you're in your own territory. You're facing a stiff wind. Tough decision. You don't want to go for it here, I don't think, and turn the football over to Falls City Sacred Heart. That could be a game-ending stop if Falls City Sacred Heart is able to stop them. But you haven't been able to pick up a whole lot of yardage on these punts because you're punting into that wind.
Branson Darvaux, correction, was the one who made the stop on that last play. So Eisenhower, 14-yard punt his last time, drops the snap. Now he's just going to try to throw for the 1st down, and it's intercepted. Or was it knocked down? Oh, that would be big if it's incomplete.
Yeah, that would be bigger.
That is indeed an incomplete pass. Hoy knocked it down. So Falls City Sacred Heart will have it from the 19-yard line.
We'll see if this was just a smart play by Falls City Sacred Heart to knock it down. Bit of desperation there, Hoy. Of course, I think Hoy was thinking pick 6 there.
Yeah. But it works in Sacred Heart's favor.
Yeah.
They'll have it 1st and 10 from the Bloomfield 19-yard line. Jordan. Handoff, Castile. Works his way forward. Sacred Heart not going to be in any major hurry here. It'll be 2nd down and about 7.
The Irish definitely in the driver's seat now. I think for Falls City Sacred Heart, this is where you really want to step on the throat here. You want to put together, you got the great field position. Can you finish this now and get some points? And that really takes Bloomfield almost out of their game. You're going to have to start throwing the football if you're down 3 scores.
2nd down and 7 from the 16. Sacred Heart has not sustained a lot of drives, but they've hit 2 huge plays on offense. That's been the difference. Jordan, waiting for something to develop, throws late. It is tipped into the end zone, incomplete. Great coverage, one-on-one. Trying to get it to Jamie Stice, but Dade Davis all over it. It'll be 3rd down.
Falls City Sacred Heart has not converted on 3rd down at all this afternoon.
That's incredible. Take another look at the Madison County Bank replay. Nice play by Davis to tip it back. So 3rd down and 7 from the 16.
Irish has to be thinking a couple downs here, I think. Get something real positive on 3rd down, set yourself up for a 4th down make.
Stice split to the left, Hoy split to the right on 3rd and 7. Jordan to the air. Defender slipped, they set up the screen. Bloomfield had it covered, but a great run after the catch. It'll depend on where they mark Tyler Witt out of bounds as to whether or not he got it. It will be 4th down and about 2.
But Gabe Lauk was the guy that looked like he had that play. Was that Lauk?
Yep, Lauk, but he slipped in the backfield.
Yep.
Actually, great job to get back up and almost make the play on Tyler Witt.
Yeah, you're right. I think Lauk just lost his footing there a little bit as he was trying to make that tackle. But Falls City Sacred Heart gets what they wanted, a positive play here. Now can you convert, pick up 4th down and 2.
Our game presented in part proudly by Julie D. Bauman, CPA, and her staff in Falls City. 4th down and 2 from the 11-yard line. Jordan, faked the pass, decided to run with it. Bloomfield stopped it, and it's Lauk. Didn't lose his footing that time, nor did he lose the quarterback, and the Bees get another huge defensive stop.
Now it keeps Bloomfield in the ballgame. Now can they do anything offensively? Heck of a play there by Lauk. And that play just wasn't there for the Irish.
I think they were looking for maybe a quick screen to the near side, Lou, and Bloomfield blew it up, and that didn't leave Jordan with anything. So now 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line is Bloomfield. Eisenhower trying to get to the edge, driven out of bounds. Solid gain on 1st down, but again, Lou, Bloomfield getting 3-4 yards at a time. They need to quicken the pace or find a way to get more than that, try to soften this Sacred Heart defense up a bit.
Again, and Falls City Sacred Heart okay with this offense. If you're going to run and get 3 yards a carry, they're okay with that. Especially up 2 scores, you're getting late in the 3rd quarter. Clock is going to become a factor against Bloomfield.
Second down and 5. That was Braden Eisenhower's 30th carry of the game, by the way. Here's number 31 as he goes straight ahead into the line. Driving across the 20 to the 21. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 coming up.
This will be the 13th opportunity on 3rd down for Bloomfield in this ball game. You compare that with Falls City Sacred Heart, they're 0 for 5 on 3rd down.
3rd and 2. Bloomfield faithful to their feet here at the Knox County Fairgrounds. From the 21, Eisenhower makes a late cut up the middle, didn't quite get there. It'll be 4th and a yard in decision time for Coach Matt Kuhar.
Yeah, at this stage, you're ticking away here. You're staring into the 4th quarter. You're down 2 scores with 1 yard to go. I think you might want to think about going for it here on this one.
Johnson and Sauser check into the game. They would be in the backfield if it is indeed Bloomfield going for it, which it is. 4th and 1 from the 22. Eisenhower straight ahead. Oh, stood up. I don't know. It's going to depend on the spot, but they're going to have to sort out where the spot is. He did not get a whole lot.
That's going to be real close. May have a measurement here.
Falls City Sacred Heart saying they got the stop. And we'll get a measurement here, but boy, where that ball is marked, Lou, it looks like he might be a little short.
That Irish defensive line has been really good in this ball game. They've held up well against a very good running attack. You see it here. Trying to go straight ahead against that defense. Great surge.
Yeah, he's way short. Short by a yard.
Yep.
Didn't gain anything, and it'll be 1st down, Falls City Sacred Heart. And again, you saw it on that play. Gabe Lauk, the offensive lineman, was stood up so much that actually Eisenhower hit the line of scrimmage before he did. You see it there. Lauk just wasn't able to get off the ball and set any type of hole. And Eisenhower had no chance because that great defensive line. So again, Sacred Heart starting in Bloomfield territory. This time from the 21-yard line. Jordan pumps, looking, end zone, has Hoy, too tall, incomplete. Hoy was there. He had gotten behind Davis in coverage. It'll be 2nd down as Falls City was looking for the knockout blow.
Excellent route run by Hoy. Just ball sailed a little bit on Jordan. That sometimes the wind at your back isn't always your friend. Sometimes that makes the football sail. You can't see here, but Hoy did a good job to get behind Davis and was open in the end zone. Ball just sails long.
That'll be 2nd and 10 from the 21 as we reach the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Bloomfield's defense has done a stellar job, as good a job as anybody, against Falls City Sacred Heart. They need to come up big again if they're going to have a shot in this one. The pitch, Hoy looking to pass, goes back to Jordan, who catches it. Jordan's gone. Gadget play works. Touchdown Sacred Heart, 21 yards.
What a play. What a call by Coach Goltz. Falls City Sacred Heart, that might be a knockout blow. Still a quarter to play. Anything can happen, but what a fantastic call. Just got napping again. Didn't read that one well. And Hoy with a nice pass over to Jordan for a touchdown. And again, Falls City Sacred Heart definitely in the driver's seat now.
So gadgetry on the part of the Irish puts them up 20. They'll try for 2. And now this Bloomfield offense, like you said, Lou, likely going to have to come out of their comfort zone a little bit as Hoy is into the end zone. And on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard, Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, it's 22-0. Falls City Sacred Heart with the lead on NCN.
Fall is here, school has started, and harvest is upon us. Stop at Senex Shop Easy for all your needs on the way to or from games, activities, or fieldwork. Or grab a pizza for on your way home. We have lots of food choices and beverages. At Shop Easy, we are always here and ready to serve. We are open 24/7 with plenty of parking and seating area if you need a break. Shop Easy wishes good luck to all the area teams. And as always, remember good sportsmanship. Shop Easy is owned and operated by the Santee Sioux Nation.
Jake Hoy on the money. And how about Jacob Jordan, the sophomore, had some big shoes to fill at quarterback. All he's done today is throw for a touchdown, run for a touchdown, and now catch a touchdown. And Falls City Sacred Heart has put Bloomfield in a tough spot with 12 minutes and 52 seconds to go. For a team not used to throwing the football, they're going to have to do it a lot more than they want to the rest of the way.
How about that pass by Jake Hoy? The receiver throwing the football on a cold day threw a strike to Jordan for that touchdown.
It was a situation where when you saw it on the replay, Bloomfield realized it, but just too late. Gabe Lauk tried to get back on the ball, but Jordan was already well behind him as the kick here goes out of bounds. Bloomfield will take the field position.
You kind of waited for those sort of plays here.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about both defenses being very aggressive, flowing well to the football. And that time, Falls City Sacred Heart got that aggressive Bloomfield defense and tricked them and burned them for a huge touchdown.
Bloomfield trailing 22, working into the full brunt of a 24-mile-an-hour breeze. Now they'll try some gadget play action up the middle, off the reverse. Sacred Heart kept the edge. Dade Davis gets a few. It'll be second down.
Well, Bloomfield has spent the entire season muscling people and running the football and winning the time of possession, which they've done today, the time of possession, but not able to score against this Falls City Sacred Heart defense. And now you've got to come out of what you're comfortable at doing. And you're going to have to run some gadget plays. You're going to have to throw the football, come out of your comfort zone, down 22.
Second down and 7 from the 28. Ian Kuhar split to the left. Davis split to the right. In the backfield, Brugman and Eisenhower. Eisenhower hands off to Brugman. Sacred Heart there for it. And there's Branson Darvo again, a monster of the defensive line for the Irish. The 200-pounder sets up a third down and long.
As we go to the fourth quarter, Falls City Sacred Heart just getting it done.
That's the last play of the third quarter, and on the Faith Regional Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, it is Falls City Sacred Heart 22, Bloomfield nothing. Fourth quarter next on NCN.
Hi, I'm Dana Adama, manager and ag lender at the Bank of Hartington, NYBRA Loan Production Office. I'm also a Northeast Nebraska beef producer. At the Bank of Hartington, we work with our clients to develop financial plans that help them meet their goals. We know that for our farmers, it is much more than a job. It's a way of life. How do we know? Because we are farmers and we are living it too.
When choosing your primary care provider, look for a partner in your health at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine. We'll be there.
fourth quarter here on NCN, presented by D&L Towing and Recovery. 3rd down and 9 from the 26-yard line for Bloomfield, trailing by 22 alongside Lou Siefker. I'm Eric McKay. Eisenhower dropped the ball. Ball is out. Bloomfield able to fall back on it, but it'll be 4th down and about 3.
Bloomfield able to get back on that one. But now you're really up against it. 4th down here and 3. You've got to convert. Fortunate to get that one back. Somehow that ball bounced back to Eisenhower. I'm not sure how.
So 4th down and 3 from the 32-yard line. Almost feel like this is the ball game here for Bloomfield. Yep. Eisenhower will try it on the ground. Sacred Heart all over it. Just not enough variance in Bloomfield's offense, Lou. It's kind of how it's been designed this year. Part of that, the injury to Logan Johnson. But, you know, once you get to the fourth quarter, Sacred Heart knows, you said it earlier, Coach Goetz telling them, find number 19 and stop him, and that's what they did there.
I got to believe that was the game plan. Try to take 19 out of the equation as much as possible. Don't let him have big plays for someone else to beat you. That's worked here in this ball game. And now a turnover on downs. Falls City Sacred Heart already up 22-0, looking for a kill shot.
From the 31-yard line, 1st and 10 for the 10-0 Irish, trying to advance to the semifinals for the 6th time in the last 8 years. Here's Jake Hoy bowling over defenders across the 15. Longest play on the ground outside of the 61-yard touchdown run. And it's Hoy down to the 14-yard line for a gain of 17.
You just wonder how demoralized now Bloomfield is. I mean, you just feel it slipping away here. 11 minutes to go, 11:04 to the end of the ball game. You're already down 3 scores. Now Falls City Sacred Heart driving. You got to try to go deep within yourself and try to make a play here and keep those faint hopes alive.
From the 14-yard line, 1st and 10, Falls City Sacred Heart. The handoff, Castile, not much. Wrapped up, I believe that's Dalton Gieselman who got in, the 230-pound sophomore. This Bloomfield team has just 16 active players on its roster, Lou.
Yeah, numbers are tough, especially when you get down here in Class D2.
Unless you're Falls City Sacred Heart, who got off the bus with almost 30 guys today. 2nd down and 9 from the 13. Jordan, the pitch. Hoy hesitates, tripped up by Eisenhower across the 10, down to the 9. It'll be 3rd and about 5.
Another 3rd down opportunity for Falls City Sacred Heart. They have not converted all day, but they've had those big plays that have allowed them to get the lead and then now stretch the lead to 22.
You know, we talk about Falls City Sacred Heart coach Doug Goltz. A win today would be win number 318. Of course, he's a winner in basketball as well. A win today, if you combine his football and basketball totals, would be 963 at Falls City Sacred Heart. 3rd down and 5 here. Jordan, the pitch. It's Hoy. He's got blockers. Makes a man miss. A flag comes in as Hoy gets to the end zone. Flag came in behind the play. It's a 9-yard touchdown run for now.
Gonna have a hold here, I think. No.
It's a personal foul against Bloomfield, so the touchdown will stand.
Wasn't sure what that was from behind. Still don't know completely, but boy, good speed there around the corner and gets the touchdown that likely puts Falls City Sacred Heart into the semifinals.
That penalty likely to be enforced on the kickoff. They call the personal foul against Bloomfield. And Sacred Heart out there to go for 2. Again, the winner of this one getting either Humphrey St. Francis or Plainview. That game later on this evening. I said not a lot of high school football action right now. This was the only game going for about an hour. Have not seen an update on some of the games out west that are just underway. Sacred Heart going for 2. Jordan looks end zone incomplete. And on the Faith Regional Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, 9:33 to go. Well, we got a flag down. Officials talking it over. I almost wonder if maybe it's going to be a roughing the passer. Or we get a personal foul here at the end of the play against Bloomfield. Oh, yeah, right there. Frustration starting to set in for this B team. So Sacred Heart will get another crack at a 2-point play.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what it is. Just a little bit of frustration. This game has slipped away from Bloomfield. Fall City Sacred Heart in the driver's seat for sure. Only 9:33 to go. Up 4 scores. It's going to be very difficult for Bloomfield to come back and win this one.
It was a dead ball foul, so the extra point no good. We'll come back with the kickoff on NCN.
When choosing your primary care provider, look for a partner in your health at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine. We'll be there to listen to you, collaborate with you, and support you in both uncertain times and life's greatest moments. Together, we can build healthy lifestyles, healthy families, and healthy communities. Visit frpsclinics.org to meet our primary care providers and find the right care for you at Faith Regional Physician Services.
High school football on NCN presented thanks in part to tonight's United Healthcare business partner of the game, Torpin's Rodeo Market of O'Neill. 28-0 Fall City Sacred Heart has run away with this one in the second half. Their defense has made the plays now with the compound the compound penalties. We're kicking off from the Bloomfield 20. You'd be tempted to go onside here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, why not? If you don't get it, what's the harm?
That's what they do. They just squib it. Bloomfield able to fall down on it on the 9-yard line. Well, that's a first. I've never seen that. That'll be 1st and 10 Bloomfield from the 9, trailing 28, and just don't quite have the offense to come back from this type of deficit, unfortunately. Even with Braden Eisenhower, again, who, like you said, Lou, over at 31 passing touchdowns in his high school career.
Yeah,
7 this season.
Just not what's Bloomfield's done well this year. I mean, they've got 7 touchdown passes, you mentioned, but it's not been the hallmark of their offense is to just throw the football this season.
Eisenhower on the keeper, up the middle. Hit hard. Boy, he's going to be sore tomorrow. That's carry number 36. Gets a couple. The tackle by Leonard. And it's 2nd down. Call it 2nd and 9 from the 10. Got one scoring update in Class D1. They're through the first quarter. The top seed Cambridge on the ropes, trailing Burwell 14-6. 2nd down here for Bloomfield. Little option play. First we've seen of that tonight. Sauser drilled by Hoy out of bounds. The Sacred Heart team pursues so well on defense. You see it on the Husker Rehab instant replay.
You saw Leonard getting in there too. You mentioned him, and what Coach Goltz thinks of him. He was in there trying to disrupt that play, made that pitch go a little bit quicker.
So 3rd down and 8 from the 11. They need the 19-yard line, does Bloomfield. Eisenhower in the backfield with Brugman. Fakes the handoff. Well covered over the top. Eisenhower on the rollout will throw late and out of bounds. So it'll be 4th down. Good coverage downfield. They wanted it over the middle to Davis, but great coverage by Jackson Figner. Forced him to come to the near side.
Now Bloomfield in a spot where you have to go for it. You have no choice. Down 28. And only 8 minutes to go here before the end of the ball game. Now they're going to kick it away, looks like.
Yep, Eisenhower on to punt. Wind at his back. Hoy is back at midfield. Not a great punt by Eisenhower. This one angling out of bounds. And Sacred Heart once again starting with the ball in Bloomfield territory. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Pinnacle Bank of Beatrice. Proud to be a part of your community and committed to bringing you banking the way it should be. Pinnacle Bank of Beatrice, member FDIC. So Sacred Heart, it appears, moving on to face either Humphrey St. Francis or Plainview. Throw us a follow on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram as well. As we'll have updates from a number of 8-man games around the state of Nebraska this evening. Sacred Heart ball 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line after the 18-yard punt. Jordan pulls the ball out late. He'll get around the edge. Jordan is thrown for a touchdown, caught a touchdown, and run for a touchdown. There he runs for 5. It'll be 2nd down.
Is there any other way he could score a touchdown? That
he could maybe block a punt.
There you go.
Run it in.
And get him to kick a field goal before the game's over, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, no, he hasn't. He's not on punt or kick returns. 2nd down and call it 6. They give him 4 yards there. At the 25-yard line. The pitch, Hoy hesitates, hits the hole, but closed up quickly. Maybe a yard. Nice play by Dade Davis. His Bloomfield team, quite a few seniors. Braden Eisenhower wraps up a brilliant career, a 3-year starter at quarterback. Dade Davis, he's a senior. Logan Johnson, a senior as well. Obviously not how he wanted his senior season to go with the injury. And Daniel Brugman, the big lineman, a senior as well. So about 25% of this roster turning over, but some good young talent back next year, Lou. They'll have to fill a big hole at that quarterback spot, though.
Yeah, there's always a big hole when you got a guy like Eisenhower who has been so productive. This senior class has done nothing but win. The only knock on them, I guess, at this stage is not able to get past this round of the playoffs, but they've been a very successful program, winning being the regular season champs for sure, having not lost since August of 2015, I believe.
Great pursuit on Del Castile on the 3rd down play. No gain. It'll be 4th down. And you're right, Lou, that Bloomfield has not lost in the regular season since August of 2016.
2016, yep. And that, how many times have they faced Falls City Sacred Heart here in this round? Well, 3 of the last 4 years. So the Irish have been their nemesis, just not able to get past the Irish. The one time they didn't play the Irish, they played Johnson Brock, got beat.
Yep.
And Johnson Brock just went on and won the state championship. So they've played some good competition. You can't hang your head if you're Bloomfield. You've been very successful.
This will be just the 17th loss in 7 years for Coach Matt Kuhar at the helm of Bloomfield. He's won 78% of his games as a coach. 4th and 5, the Irish going for it. And there's the flag, the contact a little early by Eisenhower as Jamie Stice was absolutely drilled. So Sacred Heart will get the 1st down. We'll take another look at the Husker rehab replay.
Yeah, a little early contact on this. Where the ball got there. Eisenhower got there just a shade early there, and there's the fairly easy interference call.
This will be, I believe, half the distance. We'll set them up at the 12-yard line. This game presented in part by Bottoms Up. Stop in at Bottoms Up in Bloomfield and congratulate new owner Diane Farringer. Bottoms Up, a great place to meet your friends. So Falls City Sacred Heart will have it 1st and 10. Are they marching off? Okay, they're going to give him, it's a 12-yard penalty. Be Sacred Heart from the 12, 1st and 10. As we reach the halfway mark of the 4th quarter. Oh, we got everybody moving. Movement all over the place. It'll be Sacred Heart with the penalty. Well, Sacred Heart's offense got the big plays tonight, Lou, but in the next round, if it's St. Francis or Plainview, they're going to have to find a way to sustain drives, I think. You won't be able to rely necessarily on those big plays. And certainly going to need to get the other team off the field. Bloomfield ran a lot of plays tonight. You do that against a St. Francis or a Plainview next week, and that will burn them. 1st and 15 here. Hoy off the direct snap, upended by Eisenhower. Inside the 15, down to about the 12. And it'll be 2nd and 11.
I think for Falls City Sacred Heart, the thing I'm most impressed about is just their overall defensive play. Bloomfield, a good running team and a team that can keep the football away from you and pick up first downs, but they were not able to put together a drive. Bloomfield's a team that averaged 50 points a game coming into this. They're 5 minutes away from being shut out by this Irish defense.
Fewest points they'd scored prior to tonight, 38 in a win against Stewart earlier this year. 2nd and 11. It's Hoy again on the direct snap. Cuts back, hit hard again. That time, Davis making the stop. It'll be 3rd down and about 7.
I think Hoy a little bit upset with, I think it was Eisenhower, lands on him late there. And you see Hoy got up a little bit perturbed by that, but did the smart thing. Don't get a penalty. Just walk away from what you perceive to be a late hit.
3rd down and 7 upcoming. This game presented in part by the Fast Global Solutions team in Falls City and Auburn. 3rd down and 7. Hoy off the direct snap, follows his blockers into the end zone. Touchdown, Falls City Sacred Heart. Jake Hoy from 8 yards out to pay dirt, his 2nd rushing touchdown this afternoon.
That one puts it away for the Irish. Hoy out of that Wildcat offense, just overpowered. Up front there was Bloomfield. Falls City Sacred Heart gets yet another score, and now an extra point here, or in this case a 2-point conversion here, you'd have running clock, so this one will end in a hurry.
If that happens, you and I, Lou, will have seen a lot of running clock games this year.
Yeah, that is true.
Just the way it works out sometimes. Going back to week 5 of the regular season, we have seen a running clock game in every week leading up to this week. Jordan going for 2. The flip to the end zone, wide open is Castile, and there you go. The streak is alive. Another running clock game here in Bloomfield on the Faith Regional Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. 36-0 Irish on NCN.
The Bloomfield Medical Clinic and Bloomfield Pharmacy are here to serve you and your medical needs. We have been serving Knox County and the surrounding areas for 73 years. Call or stop by to schedule an appointment at our Bloomfield or Osmond Clinic. We are a proud supporter of high school athletics and academics and wish the Bees the best of luck.
High school football on NCN presented in part by Blooms and Bling. Hey, thanks to everyone that attended the Blooms and Bling Christmas Open House. Stop in if you weren't able to attend last Saturday and check out the new inventory in downtown Bloomfield. Alongside Lou Siefker, I'm Eric McKay. Falls City Sacred Heart on to the semifinals, or at least will be in about 4 minutes, as they came in outscoring Bloomfield 30-0 in the second half of this game. Hit some big plays early, then the defense did the job that allowed the offense, Lou, to start sustaining some drives in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah, once the lead started to grow, I think the offense started to play better, and I think Bloomfield a little demoralized there in the 4th quarter.
A return by Brugman out across the 20. And it'll be 1st down Bloomfield. Clock still ticking, though. At least it should be. First and 10 Bees at the 23-yard line.
I think when these other games get going or learn of the score, this will be an eye-opener. Falls City Sacred Heart 36-0 right now over Bloomfield as we head to the end of the ball game, but a very impressive performance by the Irish.
Eisenhower wants to go to the air, over the top, looking for Davis into double coverage. And incomplete. Eisenhower playing in traffic. Broken up by Max Freschel. Hoy there on the coverage as well.
And I think it's the defensive side of the ball I'm most impressed with by Falls City Sacred Heart. The old adage is that defense wins championships. If Falls City Sacred Heart's able to play the way they played here tonight, you certainly give them a puncher's chance against either Plainview or Humphreys St. Francis.
First and 10 now from the 23. Rather, second and 10. My apologies. On play action, Eisenhower in trouble. Tracked down and sacked. That's Kyle Bauman, the junior. 195-pound junior making the big play. Eisenhower all the way back at the 10-yard line, a loss of 13.
Boy, Bauman that time absolutely a missile. That time after Eisenhower, you wonder how tired is Mr. Eisenhower there.
Yeah.
It didn't look like he had the foot speed to run away that time. He's had a ton of carries here tonight.
That goes down as his 37th. He was over 100 yards until that play. That knocks him back down to 89 yards. So 37 carries, 89 yards. That's tough sledding. Literally in this snow. Third down, 23. They go with a double reverse pass. It's knocked down. Try to get it back to Eisenhower out of the backfield. Not there. The incompletion from Ian Kuhar, perhaps auditioning to be the starting quarterback going forward there.
That sure could be. And
Coach's
Castile
son on the run.
Del Castillo has been a major player tonight for Falls City Sacred Heart. Makes that play, knocks that pass down, and now it's fourth down.
Inside of 2 minutes to go. Don't forget, after the game, we'll be talking to head coach Doug Goltz and our player of the game. Tough choice today. Boy, Sacred Heart, this is a total team win by the Irish. Eisenhower on to punt. That one spiraling forward. Not the prettiest punt. Got the job done, though, out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 24-yard punt, no return. Sacred Heart snap the ball a couple of times and be semifinalists once again.
When Leonard was rushing that punt, it looked like he was going to block it. I don't know how he didn't get it. And then that's probably the best punt that Bloomfield has had here in this ballgame.
Jake Freschel, the sophomore, is on. He'll be the quarterback for the final couple of plays here. From the 34-yard line, Freschel. The deep back is Evan Keithley, the freshman. They go instead to the fullback. Up the middle, pretty good gain here for Tyler Catlin, the sophomore, out to the 24-yard line. That's a gain of about 10. And here we go again. Falls City Sacred Heart, a semifinalist, and Coach Doug Goltz once again has brought a team into the postseason. Falls City Sacred Heart has made 33 straight postseason appearances. It is no coincidence that Doug Goltz has spent 33 years as Falls City Sacred Heart's head coach.
Now, there's absolutely no mistaking how great a coach that Mr. Goltz is. And as you mentioned, not only at football, basketball, and track as well.
He's won double-digit state championships in track. Ball came in at the end of that play, came out at the end of that play. Catlin hauls it back in. It's about 9 yards there, and that'll be the final carry of the ball game. Clock ticking down inside of 5 seconds. Well, Falls City Sacred Heart has to make a 4.5-hour drive to get up here to Bloomfield. They've done it 3 times in the last 4 years, and they get to make a joyful 4.5-hour drive back south once again. For the 6th time in 8 seasons, the Irish are semifinalists in Class D2. The final, 36-0, Irish with a win. Post-game show coming up on NCN.
The morning doesn't always start when you want it to. It starts when it has to. And day or night, we're up when you are. Through the good times, through the tough times. for the necessary and the unexpected. Even when you don't need us at all, we're just a light switch away. And when it's finally time to call it a night, we keep the lights on, ready to do it all over again. Nebraska Public Power District, powering your everyday, every day.
Need high-speed internet? Want the best in TV programming? There's no need to make countless calls to 1-800 numbers to get the services you want. Get both TV and internet with just one call to me, Wes, at Satellite Central. Everyone's needs are different, and we can help you find the best option for high-speed internet. And we've been providing TV programming from Dish and DirecTV for over 20 years. We have a local team of installers that you know and can trust. So make one call to us at Satellite Central.
What started as a $1 donation from Midwest Bank employees to wear jeans on Fridays has turned into $64,000 donated back to over 30 different organizations in the communities that Midwest Bank serves. Whoever said jeans are always a good idea was right. Midwest Bank, doing the little things in the community that make a big difference.
Oh, Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank.
Claybaugh Pharmacy provides you with all the pharmacy options a person would need. As a full-service pharmacy, we give you all the traditional options, but also have the modern technology to maintain your profiles. Maybe you're busy. Head to claybaughpharmacy.com. Click on Online Refills to get your prescriptions filled from the convenience of your home. Claybaugh Pharmacy and Gift Shop, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you've got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
The morning doesn't always start when you want it to. It starts when it has to. And day or night, we're up when you are. Through the good times, through the tough times. For the necessary and the unexpected. Even when you don't need us at all, we're just a light switch away. And when it's finally time to call it a night, we keep the lights on, ready to do it all over again. Nebraska Public Power District, powering your everyday, every day.
36-0, Falls City Sacred Heart victorious over Bloomfield in this quarterfinal matchup. Our postgame show presented by Norfolk Auto Center, Northeast Nebraska's volume leader, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple always. A big part of the victory today for Falls City Sacred Heart is our Dream It Do It player of the game. Let your skills pay the bills. Check them out at dreamitdoit.com. Sophomore Jacob Jordan caught a touchdown, passed for a touchdown, and rushed for a touchdown. He and Coach Doug Golt standing by with Lou Siefker. Lou? We'll get to Jordan and Coach Goltz here. Lou Siefker, I believe, standing by with him now.
All right, Eric, thanks a lot. Fall City Sacred Heart comes to Bloomfield, gets an impressive 36-0 win. I'm joined now by Coach Goltz and our player of the game, Jacob Jordan. And, Coach, let's go ahead and start with you. I'm really impressed with your defensive effort tonight. It seemed like the game plan was to take Eisenhower maybe out of the equation as much as possible, and looked like you guys were able to do that.
Yeah, I thought we played D all 4 quarters really well. And, yeah, a lot of it is just they're going to give him the ball, and he's going to follow 7 guys. For the most part, I thought we did a nice job of stopping that. And then the win was a big factor. There's a couple quarters there where you could almost bet that there wasn't going to be a pass, so you could load up on the run even more. So I think our defense played great all 4 quarters.
Well, offensively, you weren't able to put together the drives, but you had the big plays. You did get some drives there at the end of the ballgame. Overall, were you happy with the way the offense played?
Well, we talked at halftime that we really hadn't done much on offense. I mean, we had a lead, but we weren't really blocking that well. We were a little bit afraid of the wind, I think. So the second half, we kind of opened it up a little bit more. That first play that Jacob scored a long touchdown was more of a spread shotgun set, and he made a good play and made some guys miss and ran down the sideline. So I thought when we opened it up a little bit more, it gave us some mismatches better.
That halfback pass you had from Hoy to our player of the game over here, was that something that you put in for this game or something that you've been working on all year?
We've had it all year and just waiting for the right time to run it. We ran it earlier in the year on a PAT once, but with them playing man-to-man, we really thought that the quarterback would be open if we had time to throw it.
Okay, you got Plainview against Humphrey St. Francis. Any thoughts on that game? Certainly Humphrey St. Francis has been a team you've seen a lot in the playoffs like Bloomfield. Does it matter to you who you guys play?
No, I mean, both of those teams, when you get this far, you know that they're solid teams. And Plainview took care of Johnson Brock. We know how good Johnson Brock is. We just wait and see, and hopefully we can put a good game plan together.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a big win, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's head coach Doug Goltz. Now our player of the game, Jacob Jordan. I knew I was going to call you Jordan, buddy. Talk about taking over the start of the year. Drew Bippus was such a mainstay for this ball club, and talk about how you handled that, how you handled the pressure of filling those shoes.
Well, when Drew was still here, he taught me a lot, honestly, and so I just tried to pick up where he left off. I mean, I'm not trying to be Drew Bippus. I'm just trying to be me and play my game, and these guys have allowed me to do that, and coaches allowed me to do that, so I'm just trying to be the best I can be.
Well, you certainly have done very well. You're 11-0. What sort of things do you think you've done well here in that spot at quarterback?
I'm not really sure. Coach has really been the one helping me, and so have my players. I mean, without those guys, without the line, without my backs, I mean, I wouldn't be much. So I just got to thank them and everything for that.
Well, you've scored in 3 different ways. You threw a touchdown pass, you ran a touchdown, and then you caught one. Talk about that a little bit. How exciting is that?
It was pretty cool. I thought about that when all 3 of those, I was like, maybe I was the first person to do that. I don't know, but just what he had drawn up. So whatever he had drawn up, I was going to do, and I did it, and we scored.
Have you had a chance to catch a pass this season?
No. Well, yeah, we did a 2-point conversion, I caught one, but nothing like that before.
Well, talk about the first touchdown there, that pass to Castile. What did you see on that play? You kind of caught Bloomfield napping a little bit.
Well, Bloomfield, like he said, was man, and the way we did it, they're usually following dive, dive, dive. So we just said, hey, Dell, you go out for that pass, you're going to be there, and he was.
Okay, guys, headed now to the semifinals. You guys confident?
Oh, yeah, we're really confident. This was a huge win. Allowing them to not have any points, that's huge.
Well, Jacob, congratulations on a big win. Congratulations on being our player of the game, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, that's our player of the game, Jacob Jordan. Eric, let's send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Lou. And he said it. Jacob Jordan made the plays on offense, but he said it. Holding Bloomfield to 0, man, that's impressive. And even more impressive, how about holding Bloomfield to just 24 yards of offense in the second half? Let's take a look at our top plays in this one, presented by Valley Vet and Elkhorn Valley Bank. Class D2 quarterfinals. Bloomfield has made 32 straight trips to the postseason, trying to keep that streak alive against a team who's made 33 straight playoff trips in Fall City Sacred Heart. This was a defensive battle early on, and it was a lot of Braden Eisenhower. Came into the game the leading rusher in Class D2, but was limited offensively. There, a 15-yard gain for a first down, but the drive stalls. Late first quarter, Del Castile sneaks behind the defense, receives the pass from Jacob Jordan, 53 yards to the house. Those were the only points in the first half. Later, Eisenhower trying to break tackles again. Again, it was tough sledding for him all game. Carried the ball 37 times for 89 yards in this one. Here on a 3rd and short, stacked up, driven backwards by Jake Hoy. Sacred Heart's defense doing the job. Now Eisenhower trying to make something happen late in the half, and it's Del Castile coming down with the interception. Eisenhower, coming into that play, had thrown just 1 interception the whole year. So 6-0 at the half. This is the second play from scrimmage of the second half, and it's Jacob Jordan, the sophomore quarterback, rushing 61 yards down the sideline. Sacred Heart takes the 14-0 lead. They would not look back. This is the 2-point conversion where Jordan was able to find his receiver in the end zone, Tyler Witt, to make it 14-0. Now, we talked about how Jordan had run and thrown for a touchdown. How about receiving a touchdown? That one from the arms of Jake Hoy. makes it 22-0 Falls City Sacred Heart. They would take over from there. Hoy had 2 rushing touchdowns. That one there from 9 yards out. He had 62 yards on the ground. And then this one here that wrapped it up late fourth quarter on the direct snap. Hoy from 8 yards out. And Falls City Sacred Heart in dominant fashion gets the win 36-0. They move on to the semifinals for the 6th time in 8 years. Bloomfield eliminated in the quarterfinals by the Irish for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. So those top plays presented by Valley Vet, Fashion Direct in Marysville and anywhere with you at valleyvet.com. Also by Elkhorn Valley Bank for all your banking needs with locations in Norfolk, Huskins, Pierce, and Wayne. There are a lot of choices when you limit Bloomfield to just 109 yards of total offense and 24 in the second half. But we had to pick one play to be our Protect the House defensive play of the game. That brought to you by J-Tech Construction. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers. We go back to the second quarter. Braden Eisenhower trying to get something going with the wind at his back. Del Castile baited him into the throw, got the interception, and from there, Falls City Sacred Heart would score 30 unanswered. That again, our J-Tech Construction defensive play of the game. So, Falls City Sacred Heart improves to 11-0. They get the winner of the Humphrey St. Francis Plainview game, which hasn't even kicked off yet. Doesn't even kick off for another hour. Man, this game got done early. Meanwhile, we have a game that will not be getting done early because there's going to be a lot of passing, and it's going to be close, and it's going to be a good one. Tune in Friday. Call your friends and neighbors. Get them to News Channel Nebraska Friday at 5:45. We will be live from Hastings as the Pierce Blue Jays tussle with the Patriots of Adams Central. Battle of the Unbeatens. You better believe the atmosphere is going to be electric there, and we'll be there for it. We got a Class B semifinal on Friday night as well, as Scotts Bluff, the top seed, travels to the Metro to take on the Crimson Pride of Omaha Roncalli. You can check out both of those games at newschannelnebraska.com. While you're there, sign up for the Alert Me when my favorite team plays, and we'll let you know when your team gets scheduled on News Channel Nebraska. So that's coming up the rest of this week. Our postgame presented in part thanks to the community title sponsor for tonight's game, Bank of Hartington. Where other banks have their branches, they have their roots. Member FDIC. That wraps it up for Lou Siefker, Will Ryan, and the entire NCN Sports crew. I'm Eric McKay. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the postgame show on NCN.